All right. I think we are live. We're just going to see if we have a lighter. Yeah, we do. And we're going to light the fire. All right. See what happens. All right. I've got it set up. So let's see if she lights. Get the big flashlight. All right. All right, folks. Well, that lit. That was pretty easy. That was just one spot with the lighter. I'm not sure if you can hear that. I put the microphone right here. I don't want to get it too close. It's already been melted from the bonfire once, so but hopefully you can hear the crackle of the fire from there. Wonderful. But yeah, that I don't know. That should burn for about an hour, hour and a half. I don't have a whole lot of wood on top of it. Our fire season is coming up before very long. We were supposed to get a dry week coming up, so I don't want to have a huge big fire, but that's pretty big. All right, let's see what's going on with the chat. Uh, Captain Cockney Spock, anti-derivative Jill, hail to you. Milton knows the insane Witch King, hello to you. And yeah, he's saying hello to everybody. Captain Cockney says in the chat, I have the Canadian Mounties on speed dial ready for you in about 3 hours' time. No, there's no hard alcohol. Holy shit. Did you see that? The fire attacked me. You're my witnesses. Oh, holy shit, it knocked over the microphone too. The fire literally attacked me. Oh, it's going to be one of those nights, is it? Alrighty. There's no hard alcohol, but I do have beer. I don't know if you noticed the flag in behind the fire. But yeah, it's quite the flag back there. All right, in the chat. I gotta keep. See, now I gotta keep an eye on my fire. I gotta watch you guys and the fire. Hey, Carol's Cookies in the chat says, "Hey, Spidey, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, glad to have you. We're just having a fire here. It's oh, now you can see the flag in behind. I betcha. Captain Cockney Spock, I know you know what that says. But yeah, no, Captain, he did. I think you might have, Captain, had the old fire jump out at me. The old fire log. That's getting pretty warm now. I like the Spidey T-shirt. Shh! Don't tell anybody. I wish I could get the camera to stop auto-focusing. That's really annoying. That's above my pay grade. I don't know how to do that. No, no hard alcohol today, folks. We have water. We have some consumables. I don't know if you can recognize that, but that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. Adults only. And for beverage other than water, we do have Backdraft Blonde Ale. Extinguish your thirst. And this is Fire Hall Brewery in a little town called Oliver in the Okanagan. It's really close to the American border, actually. It's very far south. They have olives all over the place and wines and vineyards. But Oliver's a beautiful little town. If I didn't live where I live, I would probably live there. But they have several breweries, and Fire Hall Brewery, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Oliver's beautiful. It's rolling hills. It's a small town. It doesn't even have a police station, which is nice, but it does have a fire brigade, which is even better. And it's right on the lake, the bottom end of Lake Okanagan, I believe, just like 100 kilometers long. And yeah, it's really nice. Oliver's a beautiful town. They have vineyards, like I said, and I drive there fairly often with my work. Beautiful drive. So yeah, pick this up. So we'll see how she goes. It's a nice summer ale. That is this is white wedding weed. It's an indica. It's a heavy hitter. It should put me to sleep, but it's not freezing temperatures. So if I fall asleep out here, it's fine. You don't panic. Don't let LDG and everyone else initiate the alarms. Let's see. In the chat, Pop Culture Curator says, "Hello, sir. Hope you are warm, Canadian Spider-Man." I certainly am. I just had to take off my shirt. It's the plaid Canadian tuxedo there, because it's warm. It is. This fire is roaring. I've got birch bark in there, and birch bark has oils in it. Birch bark burns really hot. In the chat, uh, Captain Cockney Spock says telekinesis is a specialty. Milton Knowles, the insane witch king, in the chat says, "Stop talking about yourself, Cockney." That's a talent of his, mine as well. I should know. The lovely pop culture curator, I welcomed you. The lovely Sherry, welcome to the fire. Yeah, everything's good. Hey there. Milton Knowles, the insane witch king, in the chat says, "A town called Oliver." What's the twist? The twist is it probably is on American soil, but shh, don't tell them. Canada claimed it. It's one of the Okanagan gems. It's fantastic. Its vineyards are amazing. I've mentioned the vineyards a lot. Not that I'm a wineaholic, wino. Not really, but I do enjoy the stuff. I've worked in a vineyard before in Australia, Western Australia. My job was to go around shooting the parrots, actually, because the parrots little tiny parrots called 32s. I think they were called that because they were 32 colors. They were really easy to hit with the 22 rifle. It was an easy target. And hopefully you can hear me okay and the fire's not overtaking me. But yeah, my job was to go around on the four-wheeler and shoot the parrots before they ate all the grapes off the tree. And trees, because we had rows of young trees. And, after you shot the first 10 or so, the first day, they stopped coming around. But it was a good job. Western Australia. It was great. And you can't really own a gun in Australia unless you are a farmer and you have like a use for it. You have to claim, I guess, why you have it. Pop culture curator, yeah. Glad to have you here. There are hellos in the chat. Milton, the insane witch king, saying hello to Sherry. And Nice. Pop culture curator. A blanket in a bottle. Yeah, I think maybe we'll see. I mean, this shouldn't put me to sleep, but blanket in a tube. You know, it's a sleeping remedy right there. Uh, Milton Knowles in the chat says, the insane witch king rather says, marriage, wana is bad. Okay, Mr. Mackey says so. I couldn't agree more. Milton Knowles, the insane witch king. Um, Marriage is not. Heck, we might as well make that a topic for the bonfire. I don't think that's going to be too controversial because a lot of people these days would agree. Don't see the benefit of marriage really. I mean, you're getting into a contract with the government more than ever. I mean, there used to be a time where you could get married. You didn't need a license. You could just get a preacher, and there you go. Have some friends, and maybe sign a paper, and or not even. And that was all legal. And now all of a sudden the government has to get into it. So marriage is a bad idea, right off the bat. You don't need it, my opinion. And especially when 50% of them end, or 40% of them end these days. So yeah, I agree there. Um, yeah, I've never been married. I've been engaged, but for some reason, oddly enough, she wouldn't commit. She was waiting for me to grow up, I think. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. No, but especially for myself as a male, the courts would take half of my stuff or more, and yeah, I am not up for that. Yeah, no advantage to getting married for myself personally. I think the only reason to get married would be to have children, and I have no desire to do that at all. Um, I'm too selfish to have children, I think, and children take your independence. So that's not going to happen. Independence is my main characteristic, I think, probably to a fault. Captain Cockney in the Spock. Captain Cockney in the Spock says, Indica in the couch. Yeah, it's a pretty heavy hitter. Fuck it, let's smoke it. Fire's going well. You guys, can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear the crackle of the fire at all? Because after I smoke this, I probably won't be able to do much about it, but I might be able to resolve the issue before. We'll see. Okay, in the chat. Okay, you can hear me? That's good. Awesome. In the chat, Captain Cockney Spock says, and pop culture curator, of course, is greeting Milton Knowles, the insane witch king. Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says, Spidey, are you kidding? I make a point of not talking about my personal life. Unlike Milton, who talks of little else. That was the joke, Spidey. Oh. Right over my head. That's true. You don't talk about true. You don't talk about your personal life other than the boy or the lake or what have you. But you can still talk about your own insights. You sort of talking about your own thought processes, which in a way is still. Now, what did I do with that lighter? Do I have a backup one? I usually have two. That's going to be a problem. Oh, no, I have a fire right here. Why do I need a lighter? Worst case scenario, I stick my face in the fire. No problem. The lovely Shouty says she can hear me just fine. That's awesome. Thank you. Pop culture curator in the chat says Fireside is great for reminiscing about friends, making new ones, roasting marshmallows, and ghost stories. Roasting ghosts, if you can catch them. Webbing. I don't know if webbing works on ghosts. But I agree. Fireside chats. I grew up in the woods all the time with the Boy Scouts and on my own and with my dad and family. And fire is what we did. Winter camping, we don't even sleep. We just basically hang out around the fire because it's too cold to sleep for the most part. And Milton Knowles in the insane witch king in the chat says, Again, you're talking about yourself, Cockney. You were getting at me about that the other day. Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says, apart from who I am, where I've lived, my interests, aspirations, hopes, and fears, and my comics, and Jessica. But apart from that, you know nothing about me. Cheers. Cheers, Captain. Hints about my incredible international career, my love of comics, the continents I've lived on. But apart from that, when has the Captain ever revealed to us? What has the Captain? That's sarcasm, folks. Milton Knowles, the insane Witch King in the chat says, Canadian Spider Man, never grow up. I like you just the way you are. Oh, thanks, man. Same to you. Especially, same goes to you. Cheers. I appreciate that. Hmm. Uh, Where the hell did I put that lighter? I know I had it because I lit the fire with it. Right? Well, that's weird. All right. Eventually we'll get to this. In the chat, Captain Cockney Spock says, marriage is great until pon fires upon me. Haha. Pop culture curator says, sounds good. Milton knows the insane Witch King in the chat says, I can hear the fire and I can hear you, sweetheart. Well, no, that's appreciate it, I guess. Thank you. Unless you were doing like a Bogart, sweetheart. Oh, Brian Hepburn is here. Hey, Brian Hepburn. Good to see you. Pop culture curator in the chat says, I prefer sativa but won't turn indica or down indica or the hybrid. I prefer hybrids mostly, but this is good for nighttime. It'll make you sleepy. Milton Knowles in the insane Witch King in the chat says, I am so sorry, Captain Cockney. I don't think you have to apologize to Captain Cockney, but and in the chat, Deej Odyssey is here. Evening all. Evening, Deej. Cheers to you. Little backdraft blonde ale from Fire Hall Brewery in Oliver in the Okanagan. Takes me about three and a half hours to get to Oliver. Sometimes I work in Oliver and I come home, of course, every night. So drive for 3 hours, do a little bit of a job, you come back. It's not you spend most of your time driving through vineyard country. It's pretty nice, actually. So Deej is just saying to the lovely Sherry hello, and vice versa. Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says, oh, and the boy, and my ex-wife, and my friends, hobbies, and interests. But aside from that, I'm an enigma, wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a mystery. Indeed. Pop culture curator in the chat says, hello, sir, Deej. Deej says hello back. Milton Knowles, the insane Witch King in the chat says, Deej, how are you? Still dancing in the banana costume, I hope. I hope you are too. That is an awesome costume, by the way. Deej responds in the chat by saying, nah, I'm giving it most of the YouTube crap. Just a viewer now. Well, a viewer is good. It takes a lot of time, man. I hear you. It definitely takes a lot of time, but glad to have you here. Glad you're watching. And Carol and Deej obviously know each other. Pop Culture Curator says hello to the chat. Good to see everybody. Yes, it is. Let's find that lighter, shall we? It's around here somewhere. Aha! If it was a snake, it would have bit me. It's right here. Literally right there. Hello, camera. Yeah, we're having issues focusing the camera. Hopefully it'll resolve itself. Hello, Mr. Camera. Why are you fuzzy? Oh, there we go. That's better. Okay, in the chat, Milton Knowles in the chat says, I would love to hear the familiar sound of a lighter bursting when he said, Where did I put that lighter? As a small jet of flame came out of the fire, if only. That would have been fun. But then you would have thought it was staged. Carol's Cookies in the chat says, Hey, Carol's Cookies. Hi, Puss Puss. Deej Odyssey says, Drinking my fireball back at you, Canadian Spider-Man. Well, that's awesome. Cheers to you, Deej. Yeah. All right. Let's set that down and get this going. Bit of a wind out, as you can. I'm not sure you can tell, but it is fairly windy. That's the other reason why I don't want a huge fire, because I don't want to make a bed of embers that I've got to stay up all night and monitor. Because some of the wind could pick it up and sparks could fly pretty quick here. Hopefully the forests are as hard to light as this joint. All right. Pop Culture Curator in the chat says, Carol's Cookies, long time no see. This is a good place to catch up. Yeah, welcome here. Welcome to the chat. We were discussing marriage. Not for me personally. Never been married. All my siblings, all three of my siblings are married. They've got, they've been married for, all of them well over 10 years, 15 years, some of them. But not for me. Mel Knowles, the Insane Witch King, in the chat says, that Captain Cockney won't stop talking about himself tonight. And you won't stop talking about Captain Cockney, so, interesting. Pop Culture Curator in the chat says, hello, sir. Hope you're doing well, Captain Cockney Spock. Carol's Cookies in the chat says, yeah, I've been around, just not at the normal hangouts. There's a lot of hangouts, and it's hard. You spread yourself thin sometimes. It's crazy. Pop Culture Curator in the chat says, cream of the crop here tonight. Indeed, I agree. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice. The moon's right over there, right over the creek. Sort of behind some clouds now, but it's got the glow to it. It's almost full moon. It's like a moon that got like bludgeoned with a hammer. It's almost full. Maybe another couple nights. It's beautiful. I don't know that it's giving much light. Yeah, it's giving some light. Yeah, it's giving some light. You can still see the flag in the background there. Carol's Cookies in the chat says, things got weird, so I stepped back from a few channels, but I'm still here. Yeah, good. Well, you're always welcome around the fire, Carol. You're always welcome around the fire, anytime. Although things do get weird here. The fire attacked me. I don't know if you were here for that. The fire literally, Captain claims responsibility using telekinesis. I'm not sure I'm sold on that, but the giant piece from the top of the fire while I was talking leapt out, and you guys saw it. I had my back to you. No one warned me. Thanks for that. But my spidey senses reacted, and I grabbed it as it approached me. I held it up to the camera. It was crazy. It's all on video about 10 minutes ago. Thank goodness for the spidey reflexes. It saved me so many times. So many times. All right. In the chat. Carol's Cookies says the lighter is probably in his flannel. No, it wasn't. It was right on the deck there. Pop Culture Curator says, Carol's Cookies. Sorry to hear that. I know the feeling and thoughts. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what the doctor ordered. Yeah, this put the kids to bed, Jill. Antiderivative Jill was here. Put the kids to bed. Yeah, it's Spider-Man, but this is adult Spider-Man, okay? Canadian Spider-Man is adults only. You don't want the kids around here. We got the Firehouse Blonde Ale. We have the White Wedding Indica, which is beautiful. And we have a beautiful campfire. I'm hoping you can hear the crackling. The wood's pretty dry, so it tends not to crack as much as if it were wet. It's been drying out here in the yard for quite some time, but hopefully you can still hear a bit of the crackling. Milton Knowles, the insane Witch King, in the chat says, the main problem I find with lighters is you need to warm them up on a cold day before they work. That's true. Although Canadian lighters are filled with a different kind of butane that lights easier in the colder temperatures. So we have a climate-appropriate lighters, I guess. You never know. Carol's Cookies in the chat says, it's okay, Puss Puss. I'm not upset. It led to better things and opportunities. You know, that's right. Whenever life shuts a door, it opens a window. And I suggest jumping through the fucking window every time. It won't lead you wrong. You won't regret it. Pop called. Ooh, there's a mosquito. You son of a bitch. Oh, you lived? Oh, why did I open my hand? Son of a... I'm watching you. I should have squeezed harder. Damn it. I held back. Spidey always holds back. That's why he doesn't kill. Why did I hold back? Oh, I should have just squished him. Damn it. He's going to get me later. You watch. At nighttime, anyone that's traveled to tropical areas or lived in tropical areas, it's nighttime. Those mosquitoes, those are the females, and those are the ones that carry malaria and the diseases like Ross River fever. So it's a nighttime that you have to worry about getting mosquito bit in the tropics. So in the chat, Captain Cockney Spock says, Pop Culture Curator, nice seeing you here. And on Clobby, Clobber and Times, shout out to Clobber and Times. Pop Culture Curator says, Captain Cockney Spock, likewise. Also, thanks for visiting Jill's stream as well. Pop Culture Curator says, I need to say hi to Jens Petter. I miss him. He's a good dude. But he's all the way over in Scotland. So, well, actually, shit, he's probably awake by now. It's like 7:45 in the morning in Scotland. So Jens might be awake. Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says, I'm enjoying the discussion on Orville. You guys watch it so I don't have to. I need to start watching the Orville for sure. Yeah. I want to binge watch it. I want to start with season 1 and go right through. Captain Cockney Spock. Don't make me do it again, Spidey. With the telekinesis, please don't. I'm not. I don't have. I'm not at the peak of my game now. I'm not at the top of my Spidey senses. Before I was sober. Believe it or not. Well, sober-ish. Pop culture curator in the chat says, Captain Cockney Spock, it's not as it used to be. I've been coming under fire for my opinions. It's not easy. Well, any opinion is welcome here in the chat, as long as you're respectful to each other. Any opinion, even if you disagree with me, especially if you disagree with me, come on board. You're welcome. You're welcome here anyway. Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says, to Pop Culture Curator, all opinions are valid. Hands in the air, smiley face. All facts are checkable. Hands in the air, smile face. Based on that, I shouldn't be getting into any online arguments at all. True. Yeah. All right. This is definitely adult time around the fire, kids. The kids are in bed. The missus is in bed, perhaps. And now we're around the fire. Or perhaps the partner, whatever. Milton Knowles, the insane Witch King, in the chat says, yep, when life closes a door, it opens a window, but maybe check before you jump out every time if you're on the 18th story. Yeah, anything above 2 stories is a bit scary. Well, even 1 story, really. Would I jump out of a 2nd story window? Jump out like that? If there's a swimming pool below, yes. Or a river. If the building was on fire, I'd sort of hang out of the window and lower my, get as low as you could and then drop it's still a story and a half, but it's better than 2 stories. You probably could jump out a 2-story window. Would I live? Yes. Would I be recovering for the next 2 years? Yes. So, 2-story window. Could you survive jumping out a 2-story window? Yes. Yes, you could. I believe I could. Like diving head first, yes. You'd land on your feet, ideally. But if you had to, if people were shooting at you, like, Mel Gibson or Bruce Willis style, jump through a window, 2nd-story window. So you're talking 15 feet off the ground, probably 16 feet, so 5 meters. You'd have time to right yourself in the air and land hopefully on your feet-ish. You'd live. You'd rupture some organs, possibly, break ribs, shatter clavicles and knees and leg bones, perhaps, some arms, if you're trying to tumble. But you'd live, I would think. Is there any chance that you'd walk away from that with just, like, really bruised and sprained? Or I don't think so. I think it's a guarantee 15 feet up. I think you're going to break something. Unless you're particularly lucky, I suppose. Fortunately, I don't weigh a lot for my bone structure. But not exactly a cat. All right, in the chat, let's see what's going on in the chat. Carol's Cookies in the chat says, I'm on the 77th floor. Surely you mean the 7th floor. 77th floor? But I'm not up here alone. They won't let me fall or jump without a parachute. 77th floor. Holy shit. What are you, in the CN Tower? I think the CN Tower is 120 floors. I've been up it a few times in Toronto, It was the tallest building in the world, a structure in the world at one time. I think it's 120 some floors, and then of course the antenna are taller than that. 77 floors. Damn, Carol. Yes, definitely get a parachute, or at least a flying squirrel suit. At the very least, one of those. Pop culture curator in the chat says, Captain Cockney Spock. Yeah, I try to avoid anything loud or out of control on the stream. I don't want to make a scene on her channel. Best not to give them any fuel. I'm not sure what you're talking about exactly, but I agree with your sentiments, Pop Culture Curator. And then he says, I need DEET. Yeah, well, no, I don't want to put chemicals on my body. I really don't like the chemicals. I'm a child of the 70s. I remember the thalidomide. I missed thalidomide by just 3 years, man. It was that close. So I'm not a fan of the. And DEET was a big, that was a big thing. I grew up with that. No, I don't want to put too many chemicals on my body. Hopefully the smoke keeps the mosquitoes away. And I can catch them out of the air. I mean, you saw it's on video. I did catch it. But then I let it go, which was a mistake. I try not to use bug spray. The only time I used DEET, Pop Culture Curator, was in Northern Australia, up near, on the East Coast. So Port Douglas, Cape Tribulation, up where the Great Barrier Reef is. And in there, the Daintree Rainforest. It's a World Heritage, UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's the only spot in the world where two World Heritage Sites actually meet, because the Great Barrier Reef is considered a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Daintree Rainforest, which goes from Port Douglas and Mossman, Cape Tribulation. That's another, because of its biodiversity, that's another World Heritage Site. They actually meet right on the coast up near Cape Tribulation. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. So the mosquitoes there are so bad, and you can get Ross River virus, which will fuck up your nervous system for the rest of your life. You can get dengue fever up there. I mean, it's a full-on jungle, literally. You can get malaria. Can you get malaria there? I don't think you can get malaria. You'd have to be really unlucky. But anyway, so the mosquitoes there were pretty bad. I mean, vicious. So I did end up using bug spray there. It was a military grade. I've only seen it in Australia. It was 75% DEET. Not 7.5, 75% DEET. It tingled when you put it on. It was military grade. It was jungle. Yeah, a buddy of mine got it. And it worked. And you didn't have to reapply it very often. But I'm pretty sure it melted your DNA on some level. It was crazy. Carol's Cookies. Adult time. Does that mean we all take off our pants? If it was warmer outside, I would, Carol. It's only about 20 degrees Celsius right now. So that's, I'm guessing, what's 20? That's maybe 75 Fahrenheit. I usually do like to take off my pants. Usually when I'm streaming, I'm not wearing pants. But outdoors tonight, it's not warm enough. We haven't really had a summer. It's been like this. It's been shit. We've had a shit summer. It hasn't really been warm. A couple days here and there. Usually we're near 100 degrees or 35 degrees in the summer. Not this summer. The only upside is we haven't had forest fires. And some years the forest fire smoke is so bad that it blots out the sun. So even if it's really sunny, the smoke, you can't see it anyway. It defeats the whole purpose of the summer. So the rain, I guess, and the cooler temperatures has meant at least no forest fires. And this is unusual to be able to have a bonfire in July in the Okanagan. Normally it's too dry, but it's okay now. So Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says, I've concluded that 80% of online arguments aren't about the thing they are supposedly about. Yeah, I suspect you might be about right on that. Ploxerd, hail to you. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for having us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having us in your room. Oh, I lost you. Wow, okay, the chat's been busy. Holy shit. Floxard says, "Hail, fly by stream. I like. Yeah, glad you came by. We're just having a bit of a fire, a bit of a smoke, a bit of a drink, a bit of a chat. Okay. Pop culture curator in the chat says, "I agree, Captain Cocky Spock. When you try to debate, they are unable to stay on topic. It always turns to emotions, feelings, and insults. It doesn't have to. I enjoy arguing with people that it doesn't have to go like that. More mature people, perhaps, or secure people, but modern days, modern day people, it seems to be that way often. But yeah, I'm not a fan of that either, man." Milton Knowles, the insane Witch King, says, "I reckon you could walk away from jumping out a second story window, but you would be very lucky yet again. Supposedly, people have walked away from falling out of airplanes." I've heard of that. I've heard of that. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando jumped out of an airplane into a swamp in Florida, I believe. And he lived. And then he went and killed Benny, I believe. Was the very next thing he did after that car chase through the mountains in Florida. Or was that LA? I don't know. I don't know if there's swamps in LA. I know there's swamps in Florida. Okay. Captain Cocky Spock in the chat says, "Pop culture creator, yes. Once one becomes aware of it, it's impossible to unsee." About the topic in arguments and debates getting shifted and people, yeah, getting emotional. Yeah, I agree. Once you see the woke, it's hard to unsee the woke. I agree. Carol's Cookies in the chat says, "It's a joke, Spidey. I'm probably the only one who gets it unless you've seen the Netflix show Maniac." I have not seen that. Captain Cockney Spock apparently has seen something called Sex Maniac. Or is that Maniac? Maniac is a food in South America, isn't it? And I think you mash it. I think it's a type of tuber, a type of sweet potato. If now this is going back to my anthropology days in university, so we're going back a few decades here. But I believe Maniac is, and I might have seen it in my travels, but in South America particularly, where they mash, I think it's a tuber, and they mash it, and you got to boil it to get the toxins out of it, and then you can eat it like a potato. But, don't try that at home unless you read up on it. Make sure I know. Make sure I'm not full of shit. Well, on that anyway. Okay, in the chat, Pop Culture Curator says, "If you jump out of a 3-story window, at least flap your arms like you really care." You know what? If it's 3 stories or more, pop culture, I've always thought that I'm going to just take my shirt off and put it over my arms and make like a sail, and like, I don't know, like try and like cup the wind somehow, like the flap, I guess, but using your shirt, I guess. I don't know if that would make a difference. You're probably better off to spend your time focusing on how you're going to land and absorb the shock, I guess. Your time, instead of trying to flap your arms or make a parachute, your time might be better spent looking at where you're landing and preparing how you're going to land to best survive the situation. Like a Buddhist monk might know how to absorb the fall, jumping out a 3-story window and be able to walk away from it. Who knows? As long as there's not a fire that you're going to land on. Carol's Cookies in the chat says, "In the show, they had suck tube." Well, sometimes YouTube can be suck tube. Anti-derivative Jill, hello to you. Welcome to the fire. A little blurry right now, but the camera is having trouble whether to decide to focus on me or the fire. And she's saying hello to everybody. Good to see you. Ploxard in the chat says, Canadian Spider-Man, what is your vitamin B intake, particularly B12? Mosquitoes are adversant to vitamin B-laced blood. Nutritional yeast also bears high vitamin B content. Vitamin B intake? I don't know. I don't take supplements or anything, so I'm not sure how much vitamin B is in. Well, I mean, there's got to be vitamin B in Backdraft Blonde beer. If there's not vitamin B in Backdraft Blonde beer, then I don't know where you'd find vitamin B. I mean, holy shit. Yeah, I have no idea. I feel healthy, so I guess my vitamin B12 is good. I eat a lot of different stuff, so variety of things, and a lot of meat, and I'm pretty sure you get all your vitamins in meat. So this is science, folks. Cows eat vegetables and grass and things like that. They eat lots of plants, and now you eat the cow. You're eating essentially what the cow is made of, vitamins, and you are what you eat. The cow eats the grass, so the cow does the job of processing the plant material already for you into the different vitamins. I mean, the cow processes everything, and it's ready to use for you, and you eat the cow, and there you go. You're basically eating vegetables when you eat meat, is my idea. Nutritional yeast. Now, so nutritional yeast. Well, beer has yeast, so I'm guessing there is vitamin B. I was joking, but there might be vitamin B in beer. I'm gonna. Captain Cockney Spock says, Jill, Bloxard, hail. Milton Knowles, the Insane Witch King in the chat says, Antediluvian Jill, hello. Pop Culture Curator says, hello, Antediluvian Jill, good to see you. Adverse spell check being less aggressive. I figured I knew what you meant there, Bloxard. Antediluvian Jill says, I'm glad I'm here too. Carol's Cookie says, hi, Jill. Bloxard, 20 degrees Celsius. That's a heat wave. Well, it's definitely warmer than it has been in the last little bit. Holy shit, we have a lot of chat. Holy gee willikers. 28 degrees C equals 68 Fahrenheit. Great approximation, Spidey. Oh, thanks. Well, you know why, Jill? Because our swimming pool at the hotels where I work maintenance at in Whistler Ski Resort, the pools should be like around 21 degrees Celsius or about 72. So I approximated. There you go. Milton Knowles, the Insane Witch King in the chat says, the bug repellent my parents get to stop sandflies causes my skin to burn, but it's better than the allergic reaction to the other DEET. Yeah, well, I can imagine. Yeah, you don't want an allergic reaction. That's terrible. Wow. I have lost. Oh, shit. I'm not putting any of these chats up on the screen. I'm sorry. Wow, I suck at this. I should have been doing this all along. Damn. There we go. It's Ploxard. See? Okay. There, and now this is how I can keep track of where I am in the... Oh, nah, genius. This is how real YouTubers do it, right? There we go. Hi, everybody. Adverse. Yeah, we got your Ploxard there. Antediluvian Jill says, glad I'm here too. Yeah, we read that. Okay, here we go. See, there, showing everybody. See, this is what you're supposed to do when you have a YouTube channel. Duh. There we go. There's the last one I read aloud. Wow, chat has been busy. Reaction to the same flies. Sandflies. I hate allergic reactions to sandflies. Sandflies and the little no-see-ums. Yep, can't stand those. I'm going to have to tilt this puppy down, I think. There. Now we can see it better. See the fire? See the chat. Antediluvian Jill is just saying hello to everybody. I buy 100% DEET, Pop Culture Curator. Holy crap. I bet you when you put a lighter to that, I bet you get a big flame. Huge flame. That must be awesome. I used to carry that walking through bear country when I lived in Whistler because there's bears all over the place. And you carry a bottle of bug spray and a lighter, and it's better. The best bear with a great big flame comes out about 4 feet. I don't know if it would actually work, but it made me feel better. Just a few dots needed, no doubt. 100% DEET. The fire is soothing in a remotely hypnotic way. Well, I'm glad you like it, Ploxert. I'm going to stoke it up here, okay? I didn't want to ignore the chat. Milton Knowles, the Insane Witch King, says, I'm going to give my wife a phone call and see if she answers, but she will probably be back. Well, yeah, thanks for stopping by, but if you can come back, that's even better. You're always welcome here, and bring your opinions with you. Pop Culture Curator says, hello again, Ploxert. Good to see you again. Son of a red shirt! Holy shit, son of a bitch! Good to see you, Canadian Spider-Man. Great to see you, my Canuck brother. Just like it's time to see so many wonderful people here tonight. So many to actually shout out by name, but please let me say cheers to all. Cheers to you. Backdraft Blonde. I thought it was appropriate for the fire. Made in Canada. Made in BC, in the Okanagan, in Oliver. Son of a red shirt. I highly recommend it. Dances with Squirrels is here. Holy shit. What are those two red dots behind you? I get it. Those are eyes. Yeah. Well, I don't have my guns, any of those handy. However, I do have the old axe. I'm not saying I could take a bear with an axe, but I'd rather have it than nothing. And in the chat, Anti-Deriv Jill is saying hello to Son of a Red Shirt. Hail Pop Culture Curator from Ploxert, Captain Cocky Spock, Anti-Deriv Jill, Son of a Red Shirt, hello. Thanks to Doomcock, when the inevitable home calling comes, I can simply exclaim, ad hominem, instant, 15 to nothing. 15 love, 15 nothing. I'm not sure I understand all of that. Dances with Squirrels says, sweet taters. Welcome here, Dances with Squirrels. Love your name. That's awesome. I'm going to stoke the fire. Just hang on. All right, there we go. Oh, good. I don't have you on often enough. Welcome, Anti-Derivative Jill.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, hi. Why can't I hear you in my
Can you
ear?
hear me now? Can anyone hear me in the chat?
I think I can hear you. I think my microphone was echoing there.
Yes, I heard it echo.
Okay, much better. When I was attending to the fire, my headphones somehow got switched off accidentally. Thanks for coming on.
You're welcome. And thanks for having me on.
Behind in the chat, would you be interested in reading some of the chat with me?
I'd love to do that.
Okay.
Dances with Squirrels says, "Sweet taters."
Nice.
Taters, precious. All right. Oh wait, no, actually, that's Sam who likes the taters.
Do you know? I don't know if I've seen Dances with Squirrels more than just a couple of times before. But welcome. And Pop Culture Curator says, "LOL." Pop Culture Curator also says, "Son of a red shirt. Hey, stranger, good to see you. It is good to see you." And do you mind reading what you say?
Hey, Dances with Squirrels.
See, you read you much better than I would have.
No, I love every time someone tries to do an impression of me.
I'll give it a go the next time. Captain Cockney Spock says, "Red shirt, what's a buzzin', cousin?" Nice. And Tim's Talk is here. On your left, he says. Love that expression. Hey, Tim's Talk, good to see you, man. I hope you enjoy the fire. Glad you're here. Go ahead, Jill, please.
Anti-derivative Jill. Good evening, Jillian.
Mm-hmm. Good evening to you, Dances with Squirrels. And in the chat, anti-derivative Jill says, "Hi, Tim's Talk."
See, that was great. Now, Tim's Talk has done an impression of me, too.
Oh. Hi at Tim's Talk. No, you're not that high. I go too high. And what did you think of Tim's impression of you?
He was having a lot of fun with it. That's all that matters.
Yeah. No, that's excellent. Great. Captain Cockney Jock says, Captain Cockney Chalk? No, Captain Cockney Spock says, "Hip star." Indeed. Allegedly, Tim is a hipster. Allegedly. Ploxer in the chat says,
Captain Cockney Spock, Doomcock, and I are all apparently... I don't know, we're not really hipsters, but I guess we are. According to Robert Meyer Burnett.
There could be worse things, I guess, than being a hipster. I mean, that's certainly... There are more offensive things than that.
Yeah.
Ploxerd in the chat says, "Attic root, similar to taro. Similar need to process the root for usable starches." Right. Okay. So taro root. Yeah, that's a tuber, a potato again. You have to boil it to make the starches usable, to take out to boil out the toxins. Taro root is kind of, it's like yam, I guess. Sort of like a white. The taro that I had is a white yam style, and it was mashed and boiled. It's funny. I have a good friend who my roommate in Japan is named Taro. That's a common Japanese name, Taro, but he's definitely not a vegetable. And anak root. I don't know. Manioc. I'm not sure what anak root is, but I was talking manioc. 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 I don't think there's a K. There could be a K. I don't think there is. Have you heard of manioc, Jill? Sort of like taro root?
No, I haven't. You were educating me about it.
I could be full of shit. I'm pulling back memories from like university, which was a while ago, you know.
You're right. It ends with the K. Maniok.
It does. Okay. Thank you. Well, in English, it does.
And it kind of looks like wood.
But down there, it might not. And sorry, go ahead.
It's a root vegetable that kind of looks like wood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you really have to boil it to make it edible at all. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so I do remember some things. Son of a red shirt in the chat says, I'll
You
always
too.
make an exception for you two, Antidote Jill and Ploxer. Cheers, kids. Hope all is well on your end. Yeah, hope things are well with you, Jill. Busy with
Yeah, thank
putting
you.
the kids to bed. I'm glad you could join us.
Well, the baby was already asleep. The big one is watching YouTube. He's,
Okay.
he's watching I he's watching Be Amazed. And hello in the chat to Son of a Red Shirt. Always love seeing you around.
Yeah, absolutely. Always good when you join us. Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says, it's even more fun with extra private DM commentary on the side. XX in the chat. Are you sexting people with DMs, Captain? You and I bet you Milton's in on it somehow. Pop culture curator, he's probably in on it as well. That's it. Give me all the spectators a good laugh during the climax. Yeah, see? He is on it, in on it. Anti-derivative Jill in the chat says, I know it. I get special treatment at Son of a Red Shirt. Everything is great. I hope things are getting better for you.
Nice.
I won't. That'll be the last time I attempt that. That was better than my first time, though. Do you mind reading Blocksard?
No, I don't mind. Blacksword, you have strayed into philosophy, Canadian Spider-Man, with some semblance of science jargon in the meat consumption analogy.
Yeah, thank you. That's how you convince people. You throw out some stuff and then you throw a bit of science in there, and they may, that's plausible. You throw a couple of plausible things in there, and you make people think. On your left, Tim, great to have you here, man. Awesome. Love to have you here. Son of a red shirt, same. Things are much better for seeing you, Jill. Thank you for asking.
That's great to hear.
It is. Nice of him to say.
Mm.
Bloxert in the chat says, Brewers, yeah, Brewer, that. Jill,
Brewer?
can you read that? Because I can't, apparently.
Brewer's yeast is nutritional yeast. It's a brewing byproduct, not what has been bottled. What is in the bottle is a microfraction of what is skimmed from the batch.
So what he's saying is he recommends drinking a lot of it to get the brewer's yeast. Not a problem. Done and done. Dances with Squirrels in the chat says, Milton knows the insane witch king. Tell her I said hi. Oh, his wife. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, obviously they're friends. Canadian Spider-Man. Do you ever check out the animated television series called Primal? If so, what did you think? And did you know they just announced season 2? I've not heard of it. I don't get a chance to watch a lot of anything, honestly, other than most of these people in the chat. Other than that, I just don't have time.
I don't know about it either.
I've heard. Have you heard of it? It sounds familiar.
No, it says it's an animated action adventure.
Yeah, and I'm into that sort of thing. I like that sort of thing.
It has elements of fantasy, horror, action, and adventure. It's on Adult Swim.
Oh, see, I like Adult Swim. There you go, right there.
And it says the premise is it's set in a anachronistic and fantastical prehistoric-like world. The premise is a bond between a Neanderthal and a Tyrannosaurus named Spear and Fang in the production notes and credits, who struggle to survive as they encounter the various dangerous fauna and people that live in their world.
Wow. All right, then. That definitely sounds something I'd be interested in, yeah, if I ever have the time. So hopefully I break a leg soon and I end up in the hospital and in bed and I can have time to watch these things.
It's got a dinosaur. That sold me already.
Sold. Absolutely. Dinosaurs, count me in. Yeah, even if it's the plant eaters, that's okay. I'm okay with, because they're still dinosaurs. Brontosaurus, absolutely, count me in. Yeah, animated cartoon. Yeah, I mean, I like gargoyles. You must be a fan of gargoyles, Jill.
Oh yeah, right. That was a cartoon with a
Mm-hmm.
TNG cast.
That's
I
right.
didn't see
Yeah, a
that
lot of
many
the TNG
episodes of it.
cast were in
Yeah.
gargoyles, and it
I
was a
need,
sort of an action adventure kind of
yeah,
with fantastical beasts and things. I
right.
enjoyed it.
I
Michael Dorn was on there, and
Yeah, I saw it a couple times, but I didn't like
yeah,
get latched to it, so I need to go back one
mm,
day and actually watch it.
yeah, same. Ploxard in the chat says heat and sound from those improvised cigar lighters, pressurized can be quite the put off. Oh, to a bear, you mean? Yeah, absolutely. Anti-derivative Jill, do you mind reading what you wrote?
Sure. With 15 to 0, he meant 15 to nothing, as in he wins every time the opposing argument resorts to only name calling. So
Ah,
that was
I
in
see.
reference to Captain Cockney Spock.
Yes, yes.
Although
Wow.
now that I think about Primal, Neanderthals wouldn't be around with the dinosaurs, but it's a fantasy
No,
show, so that's okay.
that's right. Yeah, but it's fantasy, exactly. And who knows? I mean, maybe there was a caveman that invented the time machine. They had a lot of, you know, and went back and did see dinosaurs. And that technology, I mean, has been long since destroyed. I mean, it's a non-zero chance, as Darius Munchausen would say.
Yes, Darius leaves his legacies.
Exactly. I miss that guy. I haven't seen him lately. Um,
Me too. He's around.
So Ploxard in the chat says, I would not be too worried about red dots in the dark. However, orange or yellow would raise mine hackles. Yeah, yellow, yeah, that would be a cat. And there are mountain lions, big ones around here. There are cats, wolves, bears. I mean, hopefully not within 100 yards of me, but they are. Ploxart in the chat says 40 love would be a similar analogy, anti-hero Joe. Yeah, I thought it was a tennis reference because 15, right? I know tennis is about 15, sort of like cribbage. Anti-derivative Jill, spot on as always, Captain Cockney Spock said. Pop culture curator in the chat says if there are any dangerous animals in the area, play Barry Manilow. I heard it gets rid of riffraff. Good. I like Barry Manilow. I could do that. Haha, he's an F Trudeau flag. Love this. Yeah, thanks, Dances with Squirrels. You noticed that, right? Yeah, yeah, I've got a couple of those. I'm not impressed with being a prisoner in my own country. Normally, I don't get political. I actually find politics boring. But when it affects my daily life and my ability to travel to the other side of the country where I have family and friends, then yeah, yep. When it affects me, now I get political. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that flag
fair.
is there. That if he would have left me alone, I would have left him alone. He started it, not me. Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says 40 love would indicate a third point, but if the ad hominems came out first, it's 15-0. Game, set, and match. Ah! It doesn't go past 15 because the ad hominems count for nothing and he wins automatically. They've got nothing. They've got no offense, is basically what he's saying. They've got no way to attack or gain pointage. Of course. But the analogy falls down as you can't win a game 15 nothing. Of course, you can if you pull out Walther PPK and shoot your opponent in the throat. Then it ends at 15 nothing, and you technically win because you're still alive. Yes, that was a James Bond reference. Walther PPK. Dances with Squirrels says loud and clear. Hey, Jill. Oh, you can hear the fire loud and clear. That's awesome. Wow, we are behind in the chat. Jill on the panel.
I'm on the panel.
Tim's Talk says, where is the StreamYard? Hey, Tim's Talk.
Tim's Talk, Plexi Talk.
I don't know if I have any DM directly with you.
I do. Do you
Tim.
want me to send it?
Yeah,
I can do
I
that.
haven't chatted with Tim's Talk in months. Yeah, I'd love to. Absolutely. Ploxart in the chat says, can I hear you, Jill? I bet you can. I give the opponents too much credit, Captain Cockney Spock. Indeed. Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says, now, who here can tell me Why my love indicates 0 in tennis. There's some good tennis trivia. Why does love indicate 0 in tennis? Why would love indicate 0 in tennis? Um, because love should be an equal balance, and it's a sum net zero gain. It's give and take. It's equal, so it's a net zero thing. So love is a net zero thing, and that's why love indicates 0. Right. That's my
Wow, is that
answer.
why they named Net Zero the very, very old internet company? Net
Oh,
Zero.
maybe because of
Wow,
the tennis net.
I'd
See,
never,
that has to be it. All right, sure.
I've never thought
Pop
about
culture
that.
curator says he can hear you, Jill. Captain Cogney Spock in the chat says Ploxard. I have overestimated the opposition myself. All too easy. Yep, indeed. Ploxard says score 0. Where is the StreamYard?
In your DM, go
Yes,
check it.
but why? I love Jill. Of course we love Jill.
I love you too, Tim.
Because you are in hell. I saw you wrenching earlier, and damn, you are Miss Johnny on the spot with all the dropping links and assisting what's needed
Thank you.
for whatever the
Anything
need
for
is.
Clobby.
Clobby asks for stuff, and you and Eric K right on it. So.
Well, I know whenever YouTube hides a chat, it hides a chat, and I have to unhide it. I know to save those. I know to save those comments and repost them.
Yep, that's good on you. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep, good on you. Pop culture curator, your stream was late. No problem. I'm not sure how. I wasn't planning on running this one too late, but I don't have a whole lot of firewood there. Carol's Cookies in the chat says the most accepted theory is that those with 0 points were still playing for the love of the game despite their losing score. That's why love in tennis. Okay.
Wow, a lot of tennis experts. I don't know a damn thing about tennis.
They would play for the love of the game despite their losing score of 0.
That's me with video games. I'll play for the love of the game, even when I'm absolutely terrible at it.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. We got what you meant, Carol. Ploxard in the chat says it is uncertain, yet assume that it comes from love of the game. I'm not buying that Victorian propaganda. It could be Victorian propaganda, I suppose. Possibly. Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says, my bad phrasing. Why do we use the specific word love to indicate 0? Dances with squirrels. I'm glad you're entertained, man. Captain, son of a red shirt, says pop culture curator, Captain Cockney Spock. Boys, dropping in and out. A little busy at the moment. How are you gentlemen this evening? They seem to be in fine form, personally, I think.
Yeah.
Jill, would you mind reading?
Sure. Ploxard
says,
says,
stoke the fire.
Please elucidate for the studio audience the why of love for 0 at Captain Cockney Spock. Well, I could say that I love the number 0. It is a very useful number, but it is a number with which you cannot divide by. If you divide by 0, you get undefined.
Right.
The Mayans discovered the number 0.
Didn't have the concept of 0. Unbelievable. It's an advanced math concept, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go. There's some heat coming. A little bit of heat, anyway. Wow, the chat is busy tonight with 9 people watching. Thank you for taking time to watch me at this hour. Holy shit! It's 12:30 a.m. on the West Coast. Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says an egg kind of looks like a zero. The French FR word for egg is oof. Oof. Les ouf. The term love means zero and comes from the French word louf, meaning egg.
Wow. I didn't know that. This is fascinating.
Eggs round shaped the same as zero. Oh. Louf is technically the egg. But loof. Oof is egg, but you put the L in it, I guess, to mean the egg. Loof. I guess it sounds like love. Loof. My French pronunciation is terrible, so those that actually speak French, I apologize.
I couldn't do better. I can pronounce Spanish, but not French.
I grew up in the East Coast, right? New Brunswick. New Brunswick is the only officially bilingual province in all of Canada. Quebec is not officially bilingual. They are only French officially. Yeah, it's crazy. So we had to learn it in school. We had no choice for about 8 years. So naturally, being forced to learn it, I didn't study that hard, and I could have done a little better. But I can pronounce things in a silly French way and sort of make myself understood.
Well, that's good.
Cockney Spock is saying hello. Carol's Cookies is smiling in the chat. Glad you're smiling. Dances the Squirrel says, haha, naturally, 2 octaves higher. Pretty good. Oh, the imitation of your voice, I believe, is what he's referring to.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with anybody doing that.
Okay. Carol's Cookies in the chat says, what does love mean? Zero in tennis. Everything in life. Love? No. Well, yeah. Love is useful, but so are other emotions.
Love is processed around the same area in the brain as hate.
Ooh, there you go. I believe that because they're very extreme emotions, yeah. Ploxard in the chat says, manioc root. It is also named cassava. Yes, yucca. I've heard of those. Baling hoi, okay, that sounds Vietnamese to me. Mongo, or mogo. Mandioca, yeah, I've heard of that. And Kamoteng kahoy. That sounds like Filipino, maybe? Indonesian? A woody shrub of the Euphorbiaceae spurge family, native to South America.
Well read, and you can always count on Ploxard for the definitions and expanding our understanding.
Yeah, no doubt. Good on him. Yeah, I knew it was South America because when I did my anthropology in university, we had to sort of choose one area to study the culture of, like to do ethnographies on, like cultural in-depth focusing. And I chose South America in Peru and Ecuador in there, and Panama, I guess, too, as well. And so, yeah, that's where I learned about manioc root. But yeah, I've heard of, and when I traveled through there, yeah, I also was exposed a little bit to it, and yeah, it was kind of like potatoes except more woody. Yeah, I didn't actually have the experience of actually processing it, but I've seen it done. It's a very daily routine for a lot of people there. So I did get a chance to see it. That's awesome.
It reminds me of a Bajoran root they eat, but I forget what they're called. Anybody remembers?
Son of a red shirt says, Canadian Spider-Man, did you have any problems with your telecommunications or getting money from the bank today? You must have heard Rogers was down for a big chunk of the day, millions affected. Yes, today and yesterday, a lot of British Columbia in my region, the internet went down, so banking machine Rogers went down, so bank machines were down, so you had to use cash everywhere. But I didn't. I have cash on me anyway, so not a problem. I carry cash, so it wasn't a problem. But yeah, it affected everybody here. But,
wow, that's incredible! How terrible.
But my cell phone, I'm not with Rogers, so it wasn't a problem.
Hey,
And I don't really use my cell phone that much anyway.
did you see the
And look
private chat?
who it is.
Okay, yes. I wanted to make sure you saw that.
I just saw it. Hey, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Thanks for being here. Hello, Tim. He can. I don't know if he knows he's muted, but you can unmute yourself at your leisure, Tim. Anyway, let's see.
Maybe he's stepped away.
That could be. That could be. Egg has been a form of currency at once upon a time. I'd believe that, Ploxard. And heck, if you have a dinosaur egg these days, that's probably worth something.
I believe that
Eggs?
with my daughter. She's always asking me for eggs. Boiled eggs.
Hi, Tim. Yeah, welcome in the private chat. That's fantastic.
Eggs? I had no idea. Learning hashtag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I had no idea of that either. That is some incredible trivia there. Neither, Captain Cockney Spock. The yolk is yellow. Yes.
Oh, I missed that question. I don't know how I missed it. Yeah, that's a classic. And that's the right answer, Carol.
What was the question?
The classic question, I forget what it's called. It's a riddle. Captain Cockney Spock says, which is correct? The yolk is white or the yolk are white? And Carol correctly responds, neither. The yolk is yellow.
Ah, okay, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's a
it tries to trick you
distraction
into thinking about the grammar when it's really about the color.
That's funny. When I was in Japan, I tried really hard to. I mean, you can go there. I had fellow teachers there that didn't really bother learning Japanese. They didn't really learn to, get into the food very much. They ate at McDonald's, and they pretty much led a Western lifestyle living there. They were just, they just enjoyed the job, I suppose. But I really tried to get into the culture, learn the language. I was trying hard. I kept a notebook with me the whole time, carried it around with me, and I was really trying to get their culture. So I had some friends, Japanese friends, used to call me tamago. Tamago is Japanese for egg, white on the outside but yellow on the inside.
Because
I really understood. Because my roommate, I had told you earlier, I had mentioned my roommate's name was Taro in Japan. One of my roommates was, and he's half Japanese, half Hawaiian, actually. Shout out to Taro. And so, as half Japanese roommate, I would ask him questions about the culture all the time because his mom was Japanese, and so he learned a lot about the Japanese culture. And since he was raised in America, he could explain, like in fluent English, the concepts to me. And so I really, and as a cultural anthropologist, I really latched onto the Japanese culture and tried to absorb as much as I could, for the year or whatever I lived there. And so, yeah, my friends would call me, the Japanese friends would call me tamago, yellow on the inside, white on the outside. And it was slightly racist and funny, but not really. It was just I took that as a compliment.
I would too. That would be an extreme compliment.
I think so.
I would love to visit Japan someday. That would be wonderful.
I highly recommend it. It's one of the most interesting places I've ever visited, just for the culture, the food, and the architecture, and it's just so. It's so different. It's 180 degrees different from North America. It's crowded. But it's not overbearingly crowded. You can get some space, and you can relax at Japanese bathhouses called onsen. You can go to spas. You can just go to temple. Seems to be every neighborhood has like this hidden corner little shrine grounds temple area that you can
just a little hole in the wall.
The entrance is like this wide, and maybe it's a gate. It's like a torii or a gate, here, and with buildings on either side. You walk through there, and all of a sudden, it opens in behind this park with shrine and
Wow, that's
just
awesome. So
yeah.
you want to go out, but you kind of want to stay in, and there you are. That is wonderful. That sounds like my kind of place.
Walk around and explore. Just if you see a little pathway somewhere and it's not on private property, because I did that and ended up with 6 Japanese police officers and a giant sea turtle story.
Yeah.
Which
So
I
learn
talked
how to
about
read
earlier.
trespassing signs.
Yeah, yeah. But I can speak a little Japanese. I did learn to speak some, about two out of 10 maybe in the year that I was there. But writing and reading was impossible. Like
To
I
get
learned
that
to
great in
read
a year
a few
is
things.
awesome.
In the chat, Carol's Cookie says, ha 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 ha. Excessive beer consumption was not the intended mode of vitamin B consumption. Viewers yeast is the nutritional component being sold for health and well-being. I gotcha. Oh, Tim must have had to. Something happened.
Yeah, something happened to Tim. Bye, Tim.
Captain Cocky Spock says in the chat, but that would 100% definitely create a timeline B, as you know. With the yolk. Oh no, we missed Carol's Cookies. Ooh la la! Someone is going to get laid in college. Okay.
I'm sure
No,
there
but
was
that would
a chat that made that make sense. Oh, well, maybe it's
create
all
a timeline
her
B.
expert knowledge on eggs and zeros and tennis. Love.
Maybe. Ploxert in the chat. From what I understand, even bobcats are something of a wrecking machine when crossed. Badgers and wolverines are also on the list of please avoid at all costs. Yep, I'd believe that. And skunks. I almost hit a skunk with the car earlier today. Captain Cockney Spock says, check rules of Grand Slam tennis. Oh, yes, the Walther PPK option. See, that is an option to win. Check your inbox, Tim Stock. From you. Net zero, good one. Yeah, oh, he liked my net zero love explanation. I'm glad you like that. Bloxard says, Canadian Spider-Man, how are the northwestern blue-ringed tree octopi populations this year? That's funny. The blue-ringed octopus. Yeah, they're pretty. I saw some in Australia in the Great Barrier Reef. They're pretty, but they're also deadly, very deadly.
I can
Fortunately, they
imagine.
can't climb trees, and they're not in British Columbia. They're smaller than I thought. The one I saw was about that big, and little blue rings around the suckers, or the suckers were blue, and yeah, they're deadly. They will fuck you up.
Mm-hmm. Octopi are the most intelligent of the non-vertebrate
I believe it.
animals.
Zero is a non-number. It's a concept. I agree. Dances the Squirrel says it's the fire, bro. It brings out the real people, the real in people. Moth to the flames. There are moths flying around. I don't know if they come in front of the camera there. Fear of zero kept Europe in Roman numerals in the Dark Ages for thousands of years. I believe. Oh, I like because he doesn't use zeros. He uses the X's. Smart. We see what you did there, Captain. Getting a goose egg is equivalent to zero or nothing. Captain Cockney Spock, I notice you have a Jitse avatar. DP, do you ever use it? Oh,
Yitzy.
I don't know what a
Yitzy,
Yitzy avatar is.
Yitzy is a YouTuber who makes
Oh,
avatars. He's an
okay.
artist.
All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Sort of like Fat for Hire or.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Carlos Cookie says, tell me who said that quote zero in tennis, everything in life. I think about net zero? I don't know. Do not know. Reddit. Bloxard says, what is love? Zero in tennis and everything in life. Clive Wearing, the man with 7-second memory.
Nice.
Bloxard knew. Surprise, surprise. Tim on the panel. Well, he was on the panel, and then he
Briefly,
wasn't.
we didn't get to say hi.
Yeah, no, it's too bad because I didn't get a chance to. I haven't got a chance to stream with him in a while. Do you mind reading Bloxard, Jill?
I don't mind. A man who uses his hands is a laborer. A man who uses his hands and his mind, is a craftsman, a man who uses his hands and his mind and his heart, is an artist.
Ooh,
Quote by
Francis of Assisi. Sorry, Francis of
Francis.
Assisi.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great,
Is he
great quote. I like
French
that.
or Italian? He was Italian, wasn't he?
Mm,
Could be wrong.
you're probably right.
Yeah. I seem to recall. I could be wrong. Captain Cockney Spock says pop culture curator. Jitse? Yitzy? Is that the Jessica Rabbit? I'm not
Yes,
sure.
you're correct.
It is.
Francis of Assisi was Italian.
Italian. Yeah, okay. Cool. In the Renaissance, I would
Yeah,
think.
he's a mystic.
The man who doesn't read good books has no advantage over the man who can't read them. Ooh, Mark Twain.
Mark Twain,
Good
yes.
quote. He's
American.
full of good quotes, Mark Twain.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I love his short stories.
Yeah, yep,
Those are funny.
absolutely. Captain Cockney Spock Lemons. Ploxard in the chat says, better to be hated for who you are than to be loved for what you're not. Hikagaya Hachiman. Hikagaya Hachiman. Sounds Japanese.
It does.
I could be wrong. Hachi means 8, man means 1,000. So Hikigaya 8,000? Is that a made up YouTube name? Huh. Don't know. Disregard. Acknowledged. In the midst of chaos, there is opportunity. There is also opportunity. Sun Tzu. I like that quote too. Nice. Stop breaking yourself into bite-sized pizzas. Stay whole and let them choke. Florence Given. I like that. I like that. That's awesome. That's a great quote. I don't know Florence Given, but I like her quotes. And in the chat, Son of a Red Shirt says, Hasperat, a popular Bajoran delicacy, Antidote Jill.
Thank you.
Looks suspiciously like a falafel wrap. They're spicy. Hasperat. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, that's right. It's from Deep Space Nine.
I moved that log. That
I
one.
couldn't
Yeah, stop
remember it.
doing that, Captain. Enough of that. That will teach Spidey not to send me a link.
Actually, I guess it was on TNG first when we met.
I didn't
Ensign
send
Rowe.
Tim a. Well, he
I sent Tim.
Yeah, because he requested it. Tim's
yeah, he requested it, so it's by request.
We didn't know you wanted a link.
Captain Cockney Spock wants a link. Okay.
Tim experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. Agreed. Yes. Though I'm not. It's already like 1:45, so I'm not going to be up for too much longer. But Captain, you're welcome on. Pop culture curator in the chat says the first sign of mental illness is actually believe that you can make a difference. Saz team. Saz team? I'm not familiar with Saz team.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't. Saz team. Nope, not familiar with it. Carol's Cookie says, I made you move that log. Did ya?
I made you catch the log.
Ploxard says, yes, blue-ringed octopi are the tiny and extremely poisonous. Yeah, no kidding. Well, I avoided it. I mean, I was on the beach. It was in the water, in the shallows.
So when they're scared, do they release something toxic or what?
I don't not. Well, he didn't. I was in the water around him. Right
I don't
near
know about these.
Like on the edge of the beach. I don't know if they. No, I think they actually have to leech onto you, and by contacting them. I think it's a contact poison.
Okay, gotcha. That's a little better. I think it's
a contact poison. Yeah,
so just don't wrestle the poison.
Don't wrestle with them. Yeah, but they splash around in the waves, and all of a sudden they can be on you. But I saw this one. The one that I remember the most was on the east coast of Australia, about midway up. It's a beautiful town called Airlie Beach. And Airlie Beach has islands out around that you can go sailing around. The Whitsunday Islands, the most beautiful beach I've ever seen in the world, called Whitehaven Beach, is on close to Hamilton Island there. And
In
it is,
Australia?
yes, and it is better than any beach I've seen in Thailand or anywhere else. And beaches are my thing. This was amazing. Whitehaven Beach, um, the best beach in the world.
I've seen pictures of Australian beaches. They look beautiful. I'd love to visit them one day if they decide to not be so look similar to Canada in their politics.
Exactly. Don't come up here until we change our politicians. Hello, Captain.
Hello,
Welcome.
good evening, and bollocks.
Jill. Captain.
Hi, Captain.
Jill.
Hello, Jill.
Captain Cockney Spock in the chat says, so are a lot of YouTubers. What were you referring to with that? Oh,
The previous
tiny and
comment.
extremely poisonous. Tiny and extremely poisonous.
Yep.
That's what you were referring to.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yes, Clive Wearing. I've never heard of this person, Clive Wearing.
Me neither. Sorry.
What is Clive Wearing? Yeah, exactly. What is Clive Wearing? I don't know. Do you mind reading yourself, Captain?
Yeah, do your own work. It's your channel. I'm on holiday. You're right. I do my own graphics.
You make me read me when I come on your channel.
Yeah, but you're assuming the golden rule, which doesn't work.
I oblige.
Welcome to Philosophy 101. All right, then, since we're doing my rules, Captain Cockney Spock, that annoying wanker, in the chat says, I do my own graphics, but I'm not for hire because I'm ridiculously expensive.
I bet you could do your own graphics because that was one of your jobs at one time, wasn't it?
Yeah, he worked with Photoshop.
Yeah, love the Photoshop.
Floxer in the chat says Saint Francis of Assisi, an Italian friar. Right. Yeah. He made really good onion rings, I hear.
Friar.
Yeah. Friar Tuck. My favorite friar. Hachiman Hikagaya. I knew. Okay, see, there's Japanese kanji. The next,
Hang on, is that the joke about Friar Tuck? Because he was always cooking. What is that? Is that the? I just got that Friar Tuck after 50 years. Is that the joke? Did you just make that joke, or did Robin Hood make that joke?
About what? I missed it.
Well, you know, in the Middle Ages, that holy men weren't known for cooking onions. You know, Friar is not meant to be Just thinking, Friar Tuck, holy man, Robin Hood, likes a bit of food, doesn't he? He's a bit porky, isn't he?
Tuck is Tucker means food in
I didn't see that one either. Oh my god!
Tucker means food in your part of the world, in Australia and New Zealand.
It's Friar Tucker genius pun that has been under my nose the entire time, and I never saw it.
Maybe. Jill, did you know? Have you heard of Tucker being food?
Tucker, isn't he? He should be praying to God, the little fat fuck.
No, but I know when you eat in Britain, you say tuck in. So.
Yeah, Tucker. Tucker.
And there is a connection with British, Australian British, and English British,
and priests and eating.
Floxer to the chat says Hachiman Hikagaya, and that's the Japanese name. So I can't read that, but that's his name in Japanese. Is the main protagonist of the light novel Yahari Ore no Saishun Love Come wa Machigateru.
So, Ploxor, does that mean the sequel is very heavy?
No seishun love come wa machigaiteru. Machigaiteru is a mistake. Machigaita, I made a mistake, or you made a mistake. Machigaiteru means I want to make a mistake. Right?
How can you want to make a mistake?
Well, that's what he's saying. Like love
come,
on purpose, I want to make a mistake with you with love.
Smell an oxymoron, Jill. If you make a mistake on purpose, it's not a mistake.
That's right. I'm just reading the Japanese as I understand it, and my
That's
understanding
like
is very
saying
limited.
I'm going to be spontaneous in 3 hours' time.
Well, sometimes you want to make a mistake when you want to make someone else feel better about their abilities. It's lying.
Oh, you're sandbagging yourself.
But if you do it on purpose, you can make a deliberate problem, but you can't make a deliberate mistake. Well, your deliberate mistake just sounds like an oxymoron because a mistake is by definition an accident, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, next time someone asks me what an oxymoron is, I'm going to ditch
Eight-sided moron.
the jumbo shrimp and use deliberate mistake. Deliberate mistake. That should be the poster child for oxymoron.
An
Deliberate
oxymoron
mistake.
is an eight-sided moron.
I don't know. We were discussing we went back to basics yesterday on my channel, and apparently movies aren't necessarily fiction. Sometimes you can get too deep into these things.
Ploxard in the chat says Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker comedy filmmaking trio.
Well, maybe you can make a deliberate mistake if you are careless on purpose.
I deliberately take lack of care. I'm careful to be careful.
I think it would be easier to be Carol on purpose.
Is Carol careless?
No, I don't know.
Or is she careful?
She seems like a careful at times, but maybe behind a steering wheel careless type of person. Oh. I could be wrong. Oh, I don't know. I'm just kidding, Carol. I'm just kidding.
Slander lawsuit coming at you.
I don't know. She seems like maybe aggressive behind the wheel. I don't know.
Wow.
Zucker, Abrams, and Zucker.
Wow.
From the Kentucky Fried Movie. Sorry, they made from Airplane and Naked Gun. Oh, they also made Airplane and Naked Gun.
True story.
I like those movies. Captain, would you mind reading Son of a Red Shirt?
I've got a mouthful of custard at the moment, but if you insist.
Sorry,
sure.
Jim?
Sort of.
Go ahead.
Well, make up your mind, Spidey. This is
but she blurted out. It sounded like she was being accosted. I wanted to make sure she wasn't getting accosted.
No, I'll wait till the chat is read.
Oh, she was jumping ahead in the chat.
Ha ha! STTNG, that's Star Trek The Next Generation, introduced the dish when the character Ro Laren made a plate of it for an elderly Bajoran.
Yeah, that's one of the really great season 7 episodes. Ro is a great character, and in that episode, she plays a secret agent, but then working for the Federation. But then she ends up turning to the Maquis instead.
Yeah,
who she was supposed to be spying on.
She was fascinating. She was a strong female character who had many dimensions, and plus she was hot. I found her attractive. I don't know about you, Captain.
Well, she clearly had 3 then.
Me too. She was so fantastic. I was siding on her side instead of the Federation.
Kind of, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes the Federation can be dicks, right?
Right.
Blocks are
I still need to have a clue about time travel.
Venom delivered by bite. Salivary gland lower produces the venom. Okay, so it isn't by touch, it's by bite. But I knew they didn't spray it. I knew that I had to be touched by the
Only you and the Triumvirate understand time travel. Yep.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, Jill. Because the thing is, I mean, thank goodness for the Triumvirate. When I was on my own, everyone just assumed I was insane. But I am an at home. But the thing, Jill, the entire rest of the fate of the world rests on your shoulders because the success or failure of this theory depends on people recognized for their wisdom, intelligence, and sanity, acknowledging that everything is airtight and 100%. And that's what I get a lot of. Oh yeah, your theory. It's not my theory. It's perfect logic. If you got Mr. Spock himself to write it, it'll be the same. And so, but I realise I can't be the objective judge of the perfection of the Triumvirate's theory. So no pressure, Jill. The fate of the world.
It's a lot of pressure because
I've got to send it to you, and then I need you to bump it up the chain to Clobby and Professor Briggs. Now, once the 3 of you approve it, boom, that's it. It's done. We've taken over the world. I figured it. Once it's got you 3, we'll have all of YouTube. Because we've done the hard bit. It is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Because I'll tell you why. Because I even took it to the You Know Who channel, And you know what? I would say shout out to Professor Briggs because her initial observation was so smart. She's like, it's not possible in real life. That's what physics says, at least at the moment. So we're just talking about fiction. And that only I had Professor Briggs with me when I went on the You Know Who channel the previous week. They spent half an hour talking about, oh, is time travel going to happen in the real world? No one fucking cares. This isn't a science program, it's pop culture. So that's always the first thing that comes up. Oh, it can't happen. Timey-wimey. It's perfectly elegant, beautiful, and logical. You just have to sit there with a few crayons for half an hour or a year. Anyway. So,
I heard Claudia and Raquel going on about the time travel in Star Trek TNG films today.
Yeah.
Jill was in the chat as a moderator.
First point is valid. So many people talk about whether it is actually possible. It's like talking about warp speed. We're not talking about actual physics. In fact, what Jill talks about, the bridge from science fiction to science fantasy. Well, I must say, our hair splitting channel's been out hair split because on the Clobby channel, they're going from hard science fiction to soft science fiction. I was getting hair splitting jealousy. But the
Jill,
point is, Jill's correct. Well, in all seriousness, Jill's correct. There's a difference between science fiction and science fantasy. And arguably, when you go into time travel, it's already science fantasy because it's impossible. Yep. Is that fair, Jill?
That's fair. That's fair.
But once we know that, then we don't have to spend hours talking about, is it possible in real life? No, it isn't. And even if it is, we're just talking about fiction. Mm-hmm. So just credit to Professor Briggs. That is the starting point for the discussion. A lot of channels are missing it.
Yep. I like that. Jill, do you mind reading Carol's cookies?
No. Carol's cookies says, Clive Waring is a British former musicologist, conductor, tenor, and keyboardist who has chronic anterograde and retrograde amnesia. He lacks the ability to form new memories.
Holy shit. Nah, he's faking it.
Hey, Clive, you got that $50 you owe me?
So does he live? Password. So does he live his life like that Memorem movie?
Wow.
Where he makes
Total Recall. Notes? No, Memento.
Memento. That's the one I'm trying to think of.
So, is that the opposite of Groundhog Day?
No, it's about 90 degrees perpendicular. Groundhog Day is not time travel, but then what use is it me telling you what it isn't? It's actually I looked it up, repeating day trope, or even the Groundhog Day trope. Mm-hmm. I found 3 movies that do it, and Sliding Doors ain't one of them. Although
and Stargate SG-1 has a window of opportunity, which has a time loop.
Oh, I didn't know. That's 4 things. The other 2 are Edge of Tomorrow. Basically Groundhog Day with laser guns.
Right, Edge of Tomorrow. I didn't think I'd like that movie, but I liked it.
I like Emily Blunt.
Yeah. She was a strong female character without being, she had flaws. She wasn't a bitch. Yeah, absolutely.
And the other one's for you hipsters, German one with English subtitles, Run Lola Run. Salty for the hipsters. Ooh, that's the best one.
I've seen that movie, but I forgot. Does it repeat? I totally forgot.
Does it repeat? I totally forgot. Yes.
Jill, would you read a second one from Carol's cookies, please?
Sure. And also cannot recall aspects of his memories, frequently believing that he has only recently awoken from a comatose state.
Wow. Holy shit.
Oi, Clive, you got that $100 you owe me.
You'd have to videotape him day by day and then block. Sir Captain Cockney Spock on the panel.
No!
Yeah, we tried to keep him out, but he snuck in through the back door, folks.
True story.
Mm-hmm.
Captain, do you mind reading this?
I would love to. Son of a red shirt. Ha ha! Sporting, of course, his classic icon, Phil Ken Seven, that always puts a smile on my face before I've even started reading the words. Cockneys on the panel. Man, Spidey will let just anybody up there. I know, that's why I had to beg. Lol, J.K. Rowling, good to see you. Spock D, you transphobe. Oh, no,
You're a turf.
yeah, you turf. Yeah, was that trans exclusionary radical feminists? But then I thought, if JK's fighting them, is that called turf wars?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be here all night.
Ploxer in the chat says, Robin of Loxley would like to know where you are, Captain Cockney Spock.
Exactly. I'll never tell Robin. I'm somewhere in a field of Lincoln Green.
Ooh. Dances with Squirrels says, I love that name. And just as dangerous as Dancing with Wolves, because squirrels, have you seen their claws? They're like that big.
Those squirrels, they keep losing. They're nuts.
You can make a
That's the
deliberate mistake,
punchline. Make
not
up
a
your own
deliberate
joke, folks.
accident.
You know what you're doing by now.
Sounds like someone's eating now.
Oh, that was good, that last one. That's got me going. Thank you, squirrels. That's going back for the diction. Right, so accidents must be by accident, but mistakes can be deliberate. So deliberate mistake is not an oxymoron. All right, I've learned.
I've got to go feed my cat. So I'm going to go feed the cat. She was meowing. I think either that or she wants attention. So we're going to find out.
Yeah, certainly. Absolutely, Joe. Are you leaving the stream or just going to be silent for... Oh, she's silent for a bit. Sure. You can make a deliberate mistake, not a deliberate accident. True.
Speaking of which, say hello to my teenager.
Hey, you guys have a good night.
Have a good night.
That's proud, eh?
Yeah.
There's two of us now. I've cleaned myself.
Yeah.
Say hello to Cockney Jr.
Hello, Ron.
Hello. Hello.
There's two of
British
us now.
Columbia.
You're all in real trouble. He's going to take over the channel eventually, aren't you, son?
Sooner than expected.
Oh, shit. Always
pull
two
a chair
there
up
are.
around the fire. Did you bring a marshmallow stick?
Oh, nice.
We're eating chocolate.
Yeah, mountain park.
Yeah.
Oh.
I am not into s'mores. I never was. Not. I just
What about more
can't
s'mores?
get into this. Well, I'm not into the marshmallow thing. I just give me the chocolate.
Because you can't commit.
Wagon
wheels
have a certain appeal.
No, you get 4 of them. No, bananas have a certain peel.
No, wagon wheels is a treat up here. You know, you've been in America.
Excuse
it's
me?
a graham wafer sandwich with marshmallow. It's a marshmallow graham wafer with a marshmallow sandwich between the graham wafers. And then it's covered in chocolate and it's round. And for some reason, the brand name is called Wagon Wheels.
No, we actually have
Carol's
them in the UK
Cookies says,
as well.
Excuse me. Oh, that was the
Excuse
aggressive
me?
driving comment. No, I was just teasing you. Dance with Squirrels in the chat says, nice pipe, man. Has that Sherlock bend to it. Yeah, a local glass blower, a friend of mine, made this. Shout out to D. He made it in about 3 days for me. I especially requested a Gandalf-style pipe.
One.
I did. A Gandalf-style pipe, but I wanted it to be robust. I wanted it to be able to drop it and it would survive. So this is a Gandalf or Sherlock style with a big bowl, and it is robust.
What's that noise? Have you got an aeroplane behind you?
There are aeroplanes occasionally. We are
incoming. Take cover.
Yeah, the Kelowna Airport is about an hour and a half away or so.
Spidey, get up on that 50.
So we're on the flight path. Ha! We have a 50 there is a 50 in close proximity to me.
You're within range of a 50, Cal, and you're showing us a boring fire. Get up on that 50. Are you kidding? When I said on that 50, get up on that 50, Spidey. I was get up on that 50. Give him
it's
a
not
hell.
The kind you climb onto. It's sort of you hold it like it's a rifle. But yeah.
Well,
I'd love to. I'd love to get and shoot like twin 50s.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like, 50 cal, baby.
You know all the guys on battleships. Like not talking about the big guns on battleships.
I was thinking of a Humvee, but okay.
You know all the 50 caliber machine like deck guns or or the twin mounted. I don't know what size they are. The 2-inch guns that they would fire from all the sides.
Jill's going,
of
I love this voice talk. This is just great.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
Jill.
love battleships. I
Sorry
used to
about
build
what?
them. You know, the models that you
Hot
glue together.
chicken.
Your mother and father would buy you airplane model glue, and you would sniff it in your room as you build
No.
the battleships and aircraft carriers and destroyers, airplanes.
Destroyers. Nimitz class.
Modeling. See, because I saw the cars. Some
I
of my
go
friends were
topless for
modeling
$50.
cars, and they were too small, and there was not that many pieces. I wanted to do like aircraft carriers, you know. Jill, did you ever get into modeling?
No,
I mean, with
not
the
at all.
airplane
Question.
glue.
Too many jokes.
Brain overload. Can't compute. Brain's dripping. Did you ever build no model cars or model
No,
airplanes?
but I'm thinking about getting into it now.
It's a lot of fun. I bought the Captain Cockney Spock. You might remember the space battleship Yamato.
Yes,
from
I've
Star
never seen it,
Blazers
but I'm aware of
cartoon
it.
show.
Huge.
It's I would run and get it. It would take me a minute, but I won't. But I bought a 2-foot model. It came from Japan. It took 3 months to get here. It's 2 feet
Wow.
long, and it's a model that you build piece by piece. And it's the Star Blazers space battleship Yamato. Basically, it was Earth Last's hope. They were being attacked by aliens, sort of like Battlestar Galactica style. And so the spaceship, the battleship Yamato.
Are you calling Cylons aliens?
Humans went underground to survive, and they built the battleship Yamato into a spaceship from underground, and they made it into a rocket flying, ship because it had sunk to the bottom of the sea, and so it was sort of sunk into the dirt, and so it couldn't be seen from space, and they built a spaceship out of it, and it rose. And it fought the bad guys, and it had a giant cannon out of the front of the battleship that shot a huge laser, like a phaser on steroids times 1,000, like a big giant, like a one-shot deal, and it just annihilated whatever stood in front of it. And anyway, I bought the model, and it has all the deck guns move, the turrets all move, all the guns individually move. The captain's launch spaceship separates and flies off. Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely.
Personal escape pod for when everything gets a bit too heavy. Sounds good.
The anchors deploy, the cranes on board move. It's fantastic model. It was $260, but it was worth it. I will do a video.
You do like your ships because you got your Star Trek ships. And now you're getting those tiny actual aircraft
I've got an Orville
carriers.
ship, don't I, Jill?
Yep.
I
haven't seen
your
your
address.
aircraft
I've got to
carrier.
send you some maple candy or something in return,
What?
Jill.
That would be great.
Yeah, the Orville.
Do you like maple?
I've contacted McFarlane.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I've never had maple candy.
Oh, we have so much. The man among the commoners says, "Hey, all. Hey, welcome to you. How's the YouTube world?" The man among the commoners. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome to the channel. Star Trek TNG.
Next Generation.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Next Generation. Star Trek Next Generation. Wow. Thank you for being here. Pull up a chair around the fire, man. Jill, you're good at reading Carol's cookies. Do you mind reading her again?
Carol's cookies in the chat says, the only thing he has been able to remember are a few songs on the piano and the fact that he loves his wife. Those two aspects were so deep in his mind, he has been able to remember them.
That's some Disney bullshit right there. Now I really don't believe that story. I forgot everything apart from a fluffy feeling. Let it go, let it go.
Yeah. Well, I could see music, and maybe his wife has a smell, and that's a primal type memory.
That is the sense most linked to Proustian experience, isn't it? Smell.
Right? like everyone remembers what their grandmother's house smelled like, or
Or
apple pie or something.
The thing is, the smell of her on the t-shirt goes away after about 7 days. Apparently.
Ooh,
Moving on.
depends on how often that person showered, I suppose. The man among the commoners says STTNG had a
Too
time loop
much, then.
episode as well. They did have a time loop episode.
It was the one with Kelsey Grammer.
The time loop's good.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Did.
Yeah. Anyway, 12 Monkeys.
Well, Ploxer probably knows.
Mm-hmm.
STTNG time loop episode, Cause and Effect, season 5, episode 18, March 1992.
Yeah,
Ploxer
that's
so
a
amazing
Kelsey
with the
Grammer
facts.
episode. Well, he was in the for a couple minutes at the
I
end.
like Kelsey Grammer as an actor.
And yeah, that was a fun episode.
Yeah.
They
Cause and Effect.
It was cool
I think
watching.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was really
I'm
fun.
gonna have to watch it.
Well, you had the Enterprise exploding at every commercial break, and
Right.
that was so much fun.
Yeah. Do you remember why the Enterprise kept exploding, Jill? Something to do with the warp core, I'm guessing, and somehow they got in
Banana in the tailpipe
through Geordie's visor, probably.
Banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, something to do with space time, but I don't remember.
In a space bubble, wasn't it? A time
but
bubble?
The banana probably makes more sense.
Oh, the man among the commoners. Welcome again. Love wagon wheels. Well, he loves Wago wheels, but I think he meant wagon
Even
wheels.
better.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if you can get them anymore. They were a childhood thing for sure. Ploxer in the chat says aeroplanes. No, those are Royal Canadian Air Force mosquitoes.
Oh, thank you, Ploxord. Someone knows how to spell aeroplane. It's not airplane, people. That's a mistake.
That's true.
No, it's not. Airplane's a word here in America.
Well, I say no because it's not, because they're not named because they're made of air, so they're aerodynamic. So
right.
I mean, there is an ongoing debate, but I'm still saying that's not a
because
like
they plane along the air, right?
It's aerodynamic. So
technically, you're correct, but words are
evolve.
They evolve.
I know. I get that a lot. Well, do you know what? The end of my career as a pedant, because obviously at school I started as a slacker, so I was a slacker too. But I was like, no, it is good to know things. I will now become a pedant. But then when someone pointed out Cockney, you know that every year they release a new dictionary based on the mistakes that I'm making last year. I'm like, fuck, You're right. The dictionary is following the mistakes, not the other way around. So based on what Jill said, that's just the story. I want that on my gravestone, please, with errors. Cockney, you're technically correct, but no one gives a fuck because the truth is always changing.
Modern usage trumps.
Right.
Modern usage trumps,
And
new
that's
words
why,
into
to
the
this
vernacular.
day, I can't
otherwise
get a swastika
still be
tattoo
speaking
on my neck,
Shakespearean.
no matter how much I like the Hindus.
Right?
Right, exactly.
Because meanings change. But if I got... Sorry, go on.
He ruined that symbol, for sure.
Bastard.
But yeah, if I got a swastika tattoo 100 years ago, it would have been fine. With an aeroplane.
The man among the commoners says, "Hey, Charles Cookies, Canadian Spider-Man. Finally, nice to meet. Yeah, it is nice to meet. Yeah, good
hello, the man among the commoners.
Hopefully, you know some people in the chat. We have quite a diverse crowd in here. We have people that run in wide and divergent circles, so maybe you know somebody." Ploxer in the chat says, "Clown World 101. The jokes write themselves." In real life, the jokes write themselves. No kidding. You're not kidding there.
I almost can't tell the difference between real headlines and the Onion.
Yes, I've been caught. Oh, have you know someone's collected Onion headlines that became real?
Oh, God.
I believe that. Or on The Simpsons. The Simpsons predicted
Simpsons predictions.
Yeah.
Everyone's going, President Trump.
Right.
Ploxer, of course, he knows this one. Captain, do you mind reading Ploxer's insight into Star Blazers and the space?
Yeah, I'm really starting to resent it. Gamillas, Avers Clock Sword, open bracket, Gamilons in the English Star Blazers dub. Is that kind of jacket or something? Close bracket, were the antagonists. Apparently, an antagonist is not necessarily a villain. That's a different story.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Those were the bad guys, and that's why they had to build the battleship Yamato into a space battleship Yamato. It's very cool. The scene where it first launches into space, the very first episode, is so freaking cool. It lifts up, it breaks free from its Earth tomb that it's been sitting there for like 150 years, and it rises and goes off into space and has a giant cannon. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
There is.
Oh, it has fighter jets, just like Battlestar Galactica. It has fighter jets that fly out in squadrons, different colors, 4 different colors and 4 different types of fighter space little like TIE fighters and X-wings that fly out and attack, and very cool.
Nice.
So it's like a battleship / aircraft, space aircraft carrier. It's basically Battlestar Galactica, but cartoon and a weird Japanese influence, which is awesome.
I like Battlestar Galactica. So,
Amen.
Yeah,
probably be
me too.
good.
The original 1970s series as well. And yeah,
Both.
damn right.
Both.
I only know
Grew
the
up
new
with
one. I haven't seen the old one.
I think you could watch it and appreciate it and laugh.
Mhm.
I think you could find some appreciation out of it. Trying to focus the camera, it seems out of focus.
Focus, Spidey. Come on.
It does.
Focus.
It does some weird things here. There it is. Well, it
There's
is
also
one
a Yamato in Star Trek. I forget.
Ooh.
Yeah, what it did
It's
though.
it's a pretty common name in Japanese culture. The
Does
man
it mean
among
something?
numbers says, "I did go by BK Dan before." Okay.
Oh, it's
BK
been
Dan!
you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Cheers
Hey,
to you.
BK Dan. Yeah, I know you by that name.
Yeah, that seems more familiar. Ploxer to the chat says, animation, Space Battleship Yamato, 1974 to 1975. So I was, holy shit, I was young. I was probably watching reruns. Yamato the movie, 1977. There you go. Yeah, I would have remembered that. I would have been 5. Carol's Cookie says, what a evs. His story is my favorite, saddest story.
I like the
Yeah,
story too. I don't think it's
Yep. That is
untrue.
favorite.
Why would somebody
Sad
lie
story.
about that?
You know what my favorite sad story is?
Favorite.
I
like
Forrest
Dog
Gump.
Hey,
Forrest
you
Gump.
know what? People like to cry.
Forrest Gump is my favorite sad story. Or Braveheart.
Braveheart makes me cry because of the 5 billion historical errors.
Well, aside from that,
Why not just call it fantasy? I keep saying you want to take
I'm
the dragons
ignorant
from
of the
Game of
history, so
Thrones and cut and paste them into Braveheart, because there's more English-Scottish history in a single episode of Game of Thrones than there is in the entirety of Mel Gibson's fantasy epic Braveheart.
But as long as you know it's a fantasy, you can enjoy it.
That's my job. That's why I take every opportunity to tell everyone it's a fantasy, and as long as they realise it's got absolutely fuck all to do with Scottish history whatsoever, from the ages of the characters to the costumes, wearing blue woad 800 years after they stopped, and tartan 300 years before it was invented. That's exactly that's why I'm saying these words now, so that you all know that Mel Gibson's Braveheart is a great fantasy film, but as far as historical verisimilitude is concerned, it's a piece of shit.
My favorite sad story is from Star Trek: The Next Generation, The Offspring, where Data makes a daughter named Lol.
Yep, I remember
Lol.
that one. That's a good one.
Lol.
It is. Now that you mention it. Good night, Carol's Cookies. She's got to go do some homework. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, Carol.
Good night, Carol's Cookies.
Popcorn. culture curator says, yes, that episode had action for a change.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, cause and effect, definitely. And if you don't like TNG, that would probably be one of your favorite episodes because you get to see the ship destroyed a lot.
The man among commoners says the nacelles kept hitting each other. Mm-hmm. Hate it when that happens. You stop hitting each other, I'm gonna turn this spaceship around. I swear to God.
Two nacelles at the back slapping each other. He started it, no, she
I'm
did.
gonna turn this spaceship around. I swear to God, I'll do it.
Are we there yet, Captain Kirk? Are we there yet?
Got it.
I want to go to the toilet. You should have gone before we left, Spock, you idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have
Stop
toilets
touching
on the
each other.
Enterprise? I've never seen anyone go for a piss. Didn't that come up on Clobby earlier? Anyone take a big Geloja on the Enterprise?
I don't think so.
I don't see any. I see sonic showers on the Enterprise D, but
That's right.
neglect to show toilets.
No,
I've just
recall
never
them
heard
mentioning something
Spock go,
about 3
Captain,
seashells.
permission to leave the bridge. I've got to take a giant dump. That chicken tikka masala from the replicator earlier has gone right through me, Captain.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say that
I would
waste
add
products are just teleported out.
Oh,
No,
some say they
some
put them
people-
straight. Some people say they take a giant dump in the replicator, and then before you know it, it's tea Earl Grey hot.
That's
Believe
what
that.
Drek says.
That's
more
what Bill
plausible.
Gates wants. See this shit? I'm going to turn it into water. He did the same thing with Windows.
Oh, is that why New Trek is saying that? Because that's
KH,
the reality
welcome
they
to you.
want to create.
Made in
Yeah,
Canada.
exactly.
Hey, KH.
The opposite of
I
what they're doing with Star
What?
Trek, where they take gold and turn it into shit.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
reminds me of Kevin
It
Costner's
is.
The
Waterworld,
filth.
right?
Those are
Opening-
some gold pressed platinum bars you don't want.
Exactly.
KH, I don't believe we've met, but welcome.
Oh, new
Said,
person.
I bought wagon wheels shopping today. You can buy wagon wheels at the grocery stores, I bet. Yeah. I don't go down the candy aisle. I just avoid that aisle altogether.
They always put chocolate at the till.
I know.
No,
That gets me every friggin' time.
Yep.
Every time. Carol is saying goodbye to everybody. Very good. Oh, fire's picking up. That's awesome. Wow, we are behind in the chat a little bit. Pop culture curator asks, where planes invented? Where were planes invented? I'm going to say Scotland. No, America. Oklahoma, wasn't it? The Wright brothers?
I heard a theory, admittedly, in New Zealand. That apparently it was in New Zealand. They're like, nah, screw the Wright brothers. We got there first, bro. I'm like, did you? I don't know. I'll have to look it up. That's what they say.
Well,
Probably
Foxford is dead. They had their first flight in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. That's not necessarily where they invented. Although back in the day, you wouldn't want to transport it very far from where you built it. You little bastard.
Well, there's no airports. Imagine building the first
Right, so you'd have to build the
aero-
plane where you're going to
almost an
take off
airplane.
from.
Where are we going to
Good
land
point.
this thing, Wilbur? I don't know. No one's invented the airports. Fuck.
The Mandela effect. Kitty Hawk, North Carolina is the Mandela effect?
Is it? What,
Well,
Kitty
that's
Hawk's
what
dead?
Foxford claims. I don't know. You interpret what...
Well, the Mandela's effect is when you think Nelson Mandela's dead and he isn't, or indeed someone else. Not to be confused with the Streisand effect, which is something completely different.
Or the Bearstein
No, I'm pretty
Bears
sure
or
she-
Or the
Bearstein
Bearstein
Bears.
effect. Or the Bearstein Bears. Are they dead?
Yes, I believe Streisand killed them in a plane crash.
Wow, that explains it and covered it up. Hence the Streisand effect.
That poor family.
Ah. The man amongst the commoners says, I do know Carol's cookies from Captain Trek's morning show.
Ah.
Well, we are friends of Captain Trek, so yeah, sure.
He's changed his name now, hasn't he?
Yes.
I believe so.
Captain Trek is now Captain Fandom Nerd.
There you go.
Right.
Captain Fandom Nerd.
He's probably ashamed of current Trek, and I can't blame him there.
Neither can I.
Pop culture curator says, yeah, I doubt the Wright brothers thought about aeroplane.
I will do my due diligence because my point is apparently they did. they wanted something. That's the point. They invented it and they called it an aeroplane because it was aerodynamic. But as with all, that's the whole thing. If it's an opinion, it doesn't matter. It's a fact. We can check it. So really shouldn't be an issue. So that's, I guess I'll go and fact check who came up with aeroplane. Was it the Wright brothers?
Right. Nope.
Exactly right.
I think theirs were the first to actually fly a distance.
Yeah. So if they invented it, they
There.
probably would have named it, and it definitely would have been aerodynamic.
There were others that were able to build planes that actually got off the ground, but theirs was sustained flight. That was the key.
Right.
Sustained
And
flight.
so they got to name it because someone else was going to call it the Woogly Googly Boogly Flying Amazing Machine. But
well, what about the person that first thought about the concept of maybe building this type of machine, and they just
you
happened
mean
to be the ones that
Da
perfected
Vinci?
Da Vinci? Yes, thank you. Name
Thank
was
you.
on my tongue. Da Vinci.
Yes.
Well, he called it the helicopter.
Although he was more of a helicopter guy.
Exactly. He invented the helicopter gunship.
The heliocopter.
And
heliocopter.
the android.
Right?
He invented
And the
data.
androids? Wow. Oh, wow. Captain, do you mind reading that?
I really do, but sure, okay. Any particular accent? No, okay.
Swiss French.
Oh, you fucker. I walked into that one. Bonsoir.
I lived with a Swiss French guy.
All right, let's
Not
see if
like
my
that.
accent's
He was a
good.
roommate,
Urban or rural?
chef.
Block sword, s'il vous plaît. Parlez. Le wrecked battleship was one of the few existing objects. The Camilla would not recognize as a threat. Thus, the retrofit for fantastic space flight and wave motion cannon.
Wave motion cannon. Yes. The big fucking laser cannon at the front of the ship. Honestly, it's got doors that close, but it's a big
Jim
friggin' hole
Morrison.
in front of the ship. It's awesome.
Jim Morrison's on the battleship Yamato. This is getting rather
He
surreal.
was. Yeah, he was the chef. It was hilarious.
You're
He
only
also played
supposed to
guidance
blow the
counselor.
bloody doors off.
He was a chef / bartender guidance counselor.
Slash. So do they have a toilet? What about the battleship Yamato? Does that have a toilet?
I don't know if they ever showed it.
Well, I've never seen a baby pigeon, but that don't mean they don't exist. But then if it's not on
Wave
screen, it
motion
didn't
cannon.
happen.
Yes. Jill, would you mind reading pop cultures?
Sure. My favorite saddest story is Dancer in the Dark.
I'm not familiar with it.
Neither am I.
Dancer in the Dark? Can't say I know it. Wow. Almost out of beer. The stream ends when I'm out of beer, folks.
You better hit that indica.
Oh, I hit it all right. A couple of times.
Yeah, have you finished it?
It is lovely. I finished what I brought out here, yeah.
Wow.
Well, but it lasts for a couple hours. I mean, so it's good stuff.
I just like seeing you drink and smoke.
Carol's Cookies in the chat says, we learned about Clive Waring's psych class. If you look up the man with 7-second memory, you'll find more about him. It's a true story.
Clive, you got that $300 you owe me?
Yeah, Clive Waring. That's not a hard name to remember, I guess.
Right.
The man amongst the commoners says, Yamato, I think, was a Galaxy-class ship from Star Trek TNG, sister ship to the 1701D. Right.
It got destroyed.
Yeah.
Right.
In a Borg invasion, maybe?
I think they thought it was the Romulans, but I don't remember what happened exactly. It was not that good of an episode.
Was that the one involving? No.
No?
No.
Yes. You don't.
It was season 2.
Hey, BK Day, I see you from Carol. Good night to Carol's Cookies. Good night. Captain, could you read Ploxard?
Sure. Any particular accent?
You could try Canuck one.
Oh, shit. Ploxordy, right? S to Yamato, Around in the Boot, E, sorry, E, Class, Dreadnought, E, an Advanced Galaxy, sorry, X Class, Around in the Boots, Incorporating Systems, E, right, and Around in the Boots, E, Architecture, sorry, from the Andromeda, E, Class, Exploration Cruiser, E, right, sorry, Around in the Boots.
That's fairly canonical. Yeah.
Very bad. Very basic.
And that was awesome.
I'm just glad there is no cross-checking. Wow, a Dreadnought Advanced Galaxy class. Nice. All right. Pop Culture Curious says, according to SNW, they transport shit directly out of your ass.
I don't even know if he's kidding. Pop culture, I don't even know if you're joking.
I don't even know if he is either.
He is joking.
Know.
He doesn't watch Strange Nude Worms.
No, he probably doesn't.
Maybe he's joking and he's right. I'm going with that. I'm going with pop culture's joking, but he happens to be correct.
From the TNG episode Contagion.
They take it straight out your ass and straight to the scriptwriters meeting. It's a full circle.
March 1989.
Recycling.
Remember that?
Possibly. Yeah. Because there's something happens to the Yamato, and then it happens to the Enterprise, and they have to figure out how to get it off the Enterprise.
Right. Sorry, Caps. Yeah, that happens.
That's all right. Oh, I see. Sorry, Caps.
Big fucking laser cannon, big honking space gun, quoting Jack O'Neill from SG-1. Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Love SG-1.
Yeah, I
Captain Jack.
Movie. I saw the movie.
Colonel O'Neill. Colonel Jack O'Neill.
Bloxer in the chat says Star Trek TNG, The Last Outpost, Season 1, Episode 4, 1987. That was a good year, 1987.
The Last Outpost? Why would you mention that?
First Ferengi.
Ferengi?
Because it was the first Ferengi appearance. And Data says, be careful, Captain. They're stronger than they look, or they are stronger than they appear.
But when they first showed up, they were just like hopping around with their whips, and they were looking like wild animals.
Yeah, they had electric whips. Very weird.
And they were mysteriously experts at, getting on the ship and shutting down operations on the Enterprise. Like,
and they didn't mention, latinum, gold pressed or otherwise at all.
No, not yet.
Which was terribly unusual.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Bloxert from Man.
Yeah, they made them pretty savage at first, but they get better in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, they were more primal almost, the Ferengis, when they were first introduced. Not really cultured as they would have to be now.
Yeah, and that's kind of a mistake to do that to a spacefaring civilization.
Yeah, you'd think so, because they managed to make it to space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Lots of thank yous all around.
Nice.
Around and about. Yeah, he likes that, Gavin.
Around and about.
Bloxert says, apologies. You're most welcome, the man amongst the commoners. Nice. There you go. And I believe that is the last chat. I think we have reached the end of the chat.
Incredible.
And I've reached the end of the beer just about. So
the end of the chat and the end of the beer. How poetic is that?
The fire, I've still got another little bit of fire, but I can pull that apart pretty quick. Put the hose on it. Put the whoos. I could put the hose on it.
When are they coming in? What are their names?
No, the garden hose.
Oh, I see. Well, I don't know if you keep them in the house or not. That's your business. As long as they're warm.
Pardon? Oh, yeah, no, they're warm. The ladies are warm. The ladies are warm and well watered. We've had a lot of rain lately.
Warm and wet is how you want them.
Exactly. I haven't had to do
rolling that one in.
They keep themselves warm and wet.
Excellent. Saves you the trouble.
It does. Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, upcoming shows. So is it Pop Culture Curator and Jill? Do you have an Orville review coming up?
Yes. We have an Orville review coming up on Tuesday. We're going to be talking about the latest episode of the Orville Twice in a lifetime.
And are you going to be talking about the time travel?
We're going to be talking about the time travel.
Yes.
But I will be mentioning the theories on time travel, but I will be also explaining Seth MacFarlane's rules that he's using in the episode, and because if you follow the correct rules, then it's not going to make any sense.
That's
right.
Like on the Clobby show, I've got to remember not to take over everyone else's show when they stop. That's why I brought it up. I'm going to listen to your show and try and keep a lid on it in the chat. But after your show, then I'll be.
And you can.
Because basically the message is, think, MacFarlane, think. You made a basic mistake. You thought you could change the past. Their instruments wouldn't change in the present because they're in timeline A. Think, MacFarlane, think.
Yep.
Which is what I told him.
The thing is, your time travel theory eliminates the need to worry about the paradoxes. But Seth MacFarlane is using the paradoxes as a method of creating extra timelines.
Well, no, creating extra timelines is the right way to go. Do you know, we ended up spending not one, not two, but 3 shows just talking about the word, well, not just, that's it, but talking about the word paradox, because the key is paradox by definition has a solution. That's the key. So time paradox must have a solution. If it doesn't have a solution, then we need it.
That's why I say that he touches upon option 1, but ultimately by changing the past, he's going with 3.
Right. See, you understand it better than I do now.
Well, I was going to say he's not a dumb writer.
No, he's not.
He is in this.
He's
with the time travel. He's an idiot. He's a moron, a cretin, a retard, a mouth breather, a knucklehead.
And that's a lot of
science
fiction authors, and they can all be great authors, just not with the time
travel.
Well,
that's one of the lessons. That's what we learned from Back to the Future. The errors in the time travel in no way detract from the fact that it's a charming teen comedy, and we're only ragging on it because we love it. It's still a charming teen comedy, but equally, the time travel is both right and wrong, and therefore it can be fixed. Yeah, well, it's maybe. Sorry, go on.
Oh no. No, that's okay. I didn't mean to step on that.
The Packlids are a species.
I just got excited about the Packlids. Yeah, the Packlids are a species of aliens who pretend that they're incredibly idiotic, and their method of developing technology is by pretending they're stupid, getting the trust of the other ship, and taking their technology, stealing what they had.
Basically.
But they had to get out of they had to develop a warp drive before they could even
somehow
start doing that. So they can't be as dumb as they look and maintain as dumb as they
the new technology as well
themselves.
As they act. Oh,
can you read this, Cap?
I'll try. Pop culture curator. I should have known. I based my statement on fact. According to SNW, that's Strange New Worlds, not... I can think of something else that's funny. They can be medicines into your body, like a vaccine, which means they can beam the shit out of your ass.
That was the first episode. It was so stupid.
Directly to the writer's room at J.J. Abrams' house.
Right, so first of all, you know how the Federation doesn't really use genetic engineering. Well, the first episode, they use genetic engineering in order to look like these other aliens. And they go on this planet, and the genetic manipulation stops working on Spock, so he starts reverting to looking like a Vulcan again. And so they teleport a glass vial, into his eye, and he doesn't immediately start screaming at the broken glass in his eye. Just the medicine makes it in his eye.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
And there's that story of Star Trek that you should not watch.
STTNG Season 2 episode Samaritan Snare, also Season 4 Brothers.
Yeah, Brothers is a Data episode. That's good. I love it. Almost
it's
all
lore as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
like
was
every show
that was
with Lore.
Brothers was great.
Yep.
Yeah, you got
like
to
appearance.
Data takes over the Enterprise, but he doesn't mean to. His creator
Lore talks
Soong.
him into it, doesn't he?
No. Soong put a homing chip into Data to
go
because,
find Lore.
Yeah, no, to go find Soong because he's about to. Because he's. Is this one where he dies? I don't remember. I don't think so. No, he doesn't die in this one. But yeah, I guess he just wanted to look at Data and Lore and check him out.
I vaguely remember that now that you have described it. Yeah, thank you. Ooh, so Pop Culture Curator says to Captain, you're welcome to join us.
Jill might have something to say about that. No, it's very generous off. I appreciate that. I'm learning that not everyone wants me to jump straight into my time travel spiel, so that's why I'm learning to hold back. But indeed, what I'll try and do is, I mean, if anyone wants a 5-minute breakdown, I'm certainly, but I'll stay in the chat by
that's
default,
a great idea.
let's say.
Why don't you join the panel when we're done with the review? And I'm just, I'm just in there trying to put links to people's channels, and while I'm doing that, you can entertain us with your time.
Yeah, ultimately it's what the audience wants as well as what you, Jill, and pop culture want. But yeah, if there's interest, and if I can keep it down to 5 minutes and tie it into what's happening with the Orville, then sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're more than welcome if you're awake. I know it's early for you.
Yeah, that's in a way. Sometimes rolling insomnia is an advantage because if I'm sleeping patterns, I get to sleep, and bad sleeping patterns, I get the show. So it's a win-win. So hopefully, I get bad sleeping patterns next week.
Well, I actually hope for you to have good sleep, but
yes,
I'll at least catch it on the rerun. Yeah, if I'm not there live, that's why I'm simply getting some beautiful beauty sleep.
Or afternoon naps. I love afternoon naps.
But we'd be lucky to have you at the end there. That'd be great.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you both.
Yeah.
Ploxert said, "You think we are not smart. We are smart."
Oh.
A quote by Greb Needlog. 2365, Samaritan Snare. I mean, with a name like that.
I know.
Jeez.
I remember that.
Greb Needlog.
Yep. I remember that. Whoa. Camera down. Camera down, folks. Talk amongst yourselves while we put the camera back up.
I mean, they're kind of a unique villain, but the problem with them is that anytime they're on the show, the actual crew of the Enterprise have to be stupid in order for the Packlets to win. So they kind of alter the crew a bit.
But without giving them an in-universe reason to be stupid, like some stupid gas coming through it's just, they're just stupid this week because the plot requires it.
Correct. There was no stupid gas.
Okay. See, that
would have been a smart thing to do.
Well, that's speaking as a writer that's not actually finished a single script, but that when you need to do something, the trick is not just we'll fudge it and hope the audience doesn't notice because we're going to patronize them and assume they're stupid. Because they're going to know even if they're not writers. You've got to in canon explanations. That's why I never criticize the construction of the Death Star. As long as it's internally consistent, I'm happy. But when it's internally inconsistent, or get my little pen out and start broadcasting.
Yep. You get your panties in a knot. I can understand.
I do. That's if I'm wearing any.
Ooh. Now, well, it is an adult show. Speaking of adult show, Pop Culture Curator insists it's called Telepotty. That is a good one.
You know what? That's a logical conclusion. That's canon
is.
now for New Jack.
Yep.
Telepotty. You've got a telepotty mouth.
Says, well, it's 4:44 here. Okay, so he's on the East Coast. No. 3, yeah. Well, not East, but Toronto. That's
New York. It could be in New York, Bensonhurst, Toronto. Brooklyn, Tallahassee, Florida, or indeed Mississauga.
But the East Coast, like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, PEI, they're all at least an hour ahead of that even. So it'd be
You can't get ahead of
he's
that.
24
That's
minutes
East Coast, New
late
York.
for 4:20 is what he's saying.
Hang on, it's 4:44 in New York. You get any more east than that? You're in the Atlantic, buddy.
I'm an hour behind you, BK
No, sir.
Dan.
I grew up an hour east, an hour time zone earlier than New York. New
We've got a
Brunswick and
debate, right? We've got a debate called
Halifax.
"What time is it?" According to my watch, and it's made by app. I
So
asked,
you think
Apple,
Halifax has the same time as New York? No, sir.
Okay. Well, I love it. That's why I love debates, because it's so easy with the internet. But just,
I grew up
but then
there.
I always like to check who I trust. So earlier I asked my phone who the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom is. No fucking clue. I already made a video about it. Wake up, Apple.
What time zone is New York in? Do you know what it's called?
Yeah, the easternmost part. You know, New York. Right, I've lived in New York. You know, if you're like,
Eastern
if
time
you go
zone.
to New York and look east, there's a big blue thing called the Atlantic.
Correct.
So New York's like about as far as, at least it's the easternmost time zone.
But we live on a sphere.
Really? Hang on. Hey,
Yes.
son, apparently it's not flat. News just in from Spidey. I'm so glad you're here to tell us these things. Hey,
So
Chewie,
the time
take
zone,
Spidey
in case you're
outside and plug him
wondering,
into the
it's
Falcon,
more
will you?
east than eastern.
Not entirely
It's called the
flat.
Atlantic
Really,
time zone.
Spidey? Jill, are you aware of this? Apparently the Earth
The
is
Atlantic
round.
time zone is an hour east of Eastern time zone.
Yeah.
I'm saying that it's currently 4:51 in New York, and that's as far east as you can go. There is nowhere in
Halifax.
the USA, nowhere in the USA. Well, that's Canada, so I might be ignorant of the bit of Canada jutting out, but I'm just saying nowhere in the USA is it later than 4:51. But if that's different from
USA.
Canada, then I've just learned something about Canadian time zone.
Well, you wait till Nova Scotia gets fed up with Trudeau and secedes to America, and then it'll be an hour. Yeah, it's an hour later in Halifax.
Right, that's it. I'm getting my digital map. I don't even know what we're saying anymore, so I don't even know who you get to the point of discussing, like, I don't even know who I'm disagreeing with or what my view is.
I didn't know you were talking about specifically America. I thought you were talking North America.
Well, that's the problem with language, isn't it? America can mean USA, or it can mean the continent, and therefore is Canada part of America? No,
Jill, can you read
yes,
Ploxer?
Respectively. But yeah,
Sure, I can read Ploxer. Packlets show up in other TNG, DS9, and filth shows.
They do? In DS9? Really?
Packlets,
the
DS9.
I don't remember them on DS9, but okay, sure.
I
Yes,
don't
and we did have
either.
a camera go down.
But I believe it. I believe them. Oh, okay. Rules of acquisition. They show up. Unnamed packlets. What?
Yes.
Okay.
Connecticut. So you're in the same time zone as Toronto. Yeah.
Connecticut.
Yep.
Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
We used to do road trips as kids. We'd do road trips in the old station wagon down through Connecticut and Vermont. Loved it.
Yeah, my
New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, the tri-state area.
My DS9 knowledge isn't as tight as my TNG knowledge, but we're going to be watching Deep Space Nine on Clobber Times channel on Saturday Night Star Trek a week after next.
And Pop Culture Curator has an awesome comment. Can you read that, Spock, please?
I'll be happy to. Pop Culture Curator says, "Good night, everyone. Going to crash, hopefully not a car. I'm in Cali. Good luck. So going to let the gunfire sing me to sleep. See you all soon. Thanks, Spidey. Good night, Pop Culture Curator.
Good night.
May the gunfire sound the songs of sweet lullabies to your ears."
Good night, Pop Culture.
That's good night. That's funny.
It's not funny because it's true.
It's true. TNG episode 4, season 4, episode 3, Brothers, October 1990 is where Data gets his emotion chip.
Oh, right. Lore actually steals the chip. He pretends to be Data. He knocks Data out and steals a uniform, and so soon installs the chip into Lore, making him more crazy.
Yeah. Because it wasn't meant for Lore. Definitely not. Yeah.
It was not built
says
for
later
Lore.
Pop Culture Curator. And The man amongst the commoners says, I'm about 130 miles east of New York City. Yeah, in Connecticut.
I didn't even know you could go that far east.
Yeah, well, because it curves, right? It curves and almost meets Iceland and the Nordic. Like the tip of North America almost meets the tip of Europe, right?
Yeah, if you walk across the Atlantic, I see what you mean. You're right, on latitude, right? Or is it longitude? Latitude's going up, isn't it? Longitude's going.
No, the other way around. Pop culture curator says,
That's
take
why
care,
I fucking ended up in New Zealand. I use latitude
Later.
and longitude synonymously.
Later.
They're synonymous.
And the final chat of the stream.
Sitting
Can
here
you
today,
read that?
Miss Heard, did you cross the 38th parallel? I pledged
Jill,
to cross
would
the
you mind
38th.
reading?
Sitting here today.
Plocksword in the chat says Packlids are found in DS9 in Season 2, Episode 6, Melora,
Oh,
which aired on October 1993.
you were watching TNG at that time, weren't you, Captain?
I was watching it when it was out. If I remember, after how many seasons? I know Deep Space Nine. I was actually more committed. Not Deep. What did I say? That what the fuck am I talking? Voyager. That was my Voyager is the one that I watched the most.
Yeah.
TNG. Oh, it's a whole discussion. TNG. I just remember thinking, well, I guess they can't recreate Star Trek, so they had to do it new. Which, in hindsight, to this day, fuckloads better than what Star Wars did. But equally, especially with Pew cards, basically, it has kind of, even though I don't want it to, retrospectively, I don't know, TNG just seems a bit bland. It's just a bit, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like vanilla Star Trek. They're just so friendly and just so light, and they're so just boring. Because it was made in the 90s, the one decade in human history where everything wasn't shit.
That's, yeah.
After
Well,
the fall of the
80s
Berlin
too.
Wall and before 9/11, we had only 11 years of the entire human history that were actually quite good. But unfortunately, as a result, TNG was quite tedious.
Yeah, it was quite the roller coaster in terms of quality of episodes. You had a few really fantastic episodes and some really awful episodes, but mostly you had something in between awful and fantastic.
Right. Maybe that the wise thing is then it's both for you and the clobbering times. Just give us the top 10. And I'll just watch those ones of TNG.
Yeah.
And all the time travel ones.
I bet you could pull 20 good episodes out of TNG.
Yeah, you can.
Just anything that's Picard light. I don't want that one where he's freaking Indiana Jones and he's jetting off of that girl half
that
his
was
age
silly.
and all that nonsense. Yeah.
Even
Mike from Red Letter
Indiana
Media.
Jones? What?
Well, he
What
had
episode
he
are
went
you
on
talking about?
vacation.
No.
Oh,
Foxtrot,
Captain's Holiday.
There you go.
No,
You know the
we
one
don't
where
want you
he
to
went
list
all
the
Beverly Hills
appearances
Cop.
from the
It's like,
filth.
why are you opening your shirt up like
We'll
that?
never
You think
watch
that's
it.
sexy? It's not sexy.
We'll never watch the filth. All right, later, man amongst the commoners. Good night, Ploxer.
Good night, Ploxer.
Thank you for being
Good
here,
night, Ploxer.
everybody. Thank you for joining us. The fire's just about gone. The beverages are gone. The adult activities are gone. Pop culture curator, glad you came. Everyone that was here.
That's what she said. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. Glad you were able to make it around to the
Better.
neighborhood. And it was a pretty friendly fire. It didn't get the debate and discussion tonight didn't get too heated, so it was a friendly neighborhood campfire after all.
It was nice and chilled.
Jill, Captain, thank you for being here. Jill, would you like
Thanks
to
for letting me bully my way
channel?
on.
You're welcome. And Captain, I'll have you plug your channel right after Jill.
All right. My channel is Antiderivative Jill. I review the Orville all the way through season 3. When I'm done with that, we'll probably review For All Mankind and then or TOS. I haven't decided which. I might let my viewers decide that. And then Fridays, sometimes I'll have a talk show, sometimes I won't. Last week I didn't, but whenever I have enough to say, I'll have a Friday show. And that's my channel for now.
Yeah, no, that's more regular than I am. No, good on you.
Mhm.
It takes a lot of effort. Yeah, and
Nice.
Fridays, yeah, that's a good idea. No pressure, but when you get around to doing, or if you get a chance, Fridays, Friday afternoon, Friday morning, yeah.
Both of my shows are around noon Central Time.
Yeah.
So if you're ever off on Friday, Spidey, let me know.
Some Fridays, once in a blue moon, it does happen, yeah. And Captain, what about your channel?
I'm still actually in the process of removing my emotion chip. Now, at the moment, I wouldn't recommend my own channel unless you like rants interspersed into your comedy. So I'm going to recommend you
Splitting
subscribe
hairs.
and splitting hairs and time travel. But if you like guaranteed fun and laughter, you might sometimes find me on Dalek451. So please subscribe to my good friend Dalek451 because he gets the right combo of guests, sometimes including me, where fun and laughter is almost guaranteed until I give me another week to just calm down a little bit. So subscribe to
Oh
my
no,
good
but you
friend
never know.
Dalek.
Even when you do have a heated show,
Your
there's
rants
always
are
some
good.
fun. There's always some fun jokes and interesting topics to enjoy.
Thank you.
In
Yeah, it's never
between.
just 12 hours of solid ranting. But if you don't like any ranting at all, give it a miss.
Yeah,
It's both. Joking, ranting, and serious and tedious month-long deconstructions of time travel or Deckard or the unreliable narrator. If you really care about whether that commode scene happened in Reservoir Dogs, then find me on Dalek 451.
That's Rep. Jill's got that right in the chat. Here's Captain Cockney's as well. That's also in the
Thank you,
chat.
Jill. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And Jill, please feel free to put yours in as well.
I did. Put mine.
Oh,
Someone
Dalek.
mentioned.
Yes, there he is,
Whoa, the
Dalek.
timing!
Wow.
That's incredible.
What great!
Hi, Dalek.
Thanks for being here, Dalek.
I love it when that
Good
happens.
night.
When you're talking about one of your friends behind their back in a good way,
Yep,
and they
he
show
just
up.
manages to show up. We were just gonna, we're just shutting it down, Dalek. The fire's gone, and it is 2 a.m. here, so it is definitely bedtime. And
Yeah,
and
but we're
Jill,
giving
it's
your
even
channel a
later for
shout
you.
out, Dalek. So
It's
hopefully you're going to
cool,
get a
but
couple
it's
more
so
subs.
fun.
Yeah, it is. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Glad you're here, Dalek. We were mentioning you. We were shouting you out and promoting your channel.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. See? Excellent. And on that note, folks, have a good evening. And if I get a chance, I'll swing by your neighborhood. Thanks for being here with us.
Cheers. Bollocks.
Good night.